All right.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good. I see Mr. James Knoll. Good to see you. I will be back, he said.
I like that. Hey, there's Rich too.
He must be watching on his phone. Mr. Rich. All present and accounted for. Yeah, man, we were just chilling, talking on the phone, and we actually watched a video Castle Ground Apiaries was doing. Hey, Mr. Johnny Walker, drop him a link. We'll drop a link. I'll drop a link. Let me see. Paste. So Lee's off tomorrow. So I figured we would do a little bit of live, see what we could drum up on the beekeeping front today. We watched an interesting video that Castle Grounds Apiary put out. And basically, he tracks all beekeeping YouTube channels and basically their performance for the month, whether it's percent of gain of subscribers or watch hours or all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't subscribed to his channel, Castle Grounds Apiary, please go do it. He didn't have many viewers on that stream, and we'd like to help pump him up, maybe encourage him to put out some more beekeeping content. And it's pretty interesting if you've got a beekeeping YouTube channel. Let's add Rich in here. There you go. Hey, Rich.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
Awesome, Lee.
Did you hear what he was talking about?
Yeah, Lee has a day off finally.
Oh no, you didn't hear the other part. Castle Grounds Apiary.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I think I've subscribed to him actually.
Your channel actually was like number 6 or 7 in growth.
Who's Lee?
Yours.
I don't pay attention to it.
Well, he just does a thing on the last day of the month of all these beekeeping channels, and it shows the growth, which was pretty impressive because Lee's was up there, yours was up there. Earl had explosive growth.
Yeah, Hillbilly was way up there.
No, Hillbilly's channel's exploding right now,
which
is awesome. Yeah,
it is awesome, but it's also kind of funny because he hasn't made a beekeeping video.
I like it. I think that he's doing the research. He's putting out information.
Yeah, it's still content.
Absolutely.
It really is. And the way the algorithm works, like the songs, like that's bringing him like a lot of views. That's awesome, man. I think that's awesome. Johnny Walker, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, John.
Dry cuts has gone up. My mentor, South Carolina Happy Bees, had like 165% growth.
Nice.
In March. And
I want to talk about the Premier Foundation. I know we were all tuning into that last night. Now, is the Premier Foundation, is that drawn out wax already? Can you guys explain that to me a little bit?
It's plastic foundation with wax coating on it.
Okay.
But the size of the cell walls is closer to what a bee actually draws out.
Okay, so they mimic the cell walls. Gotcha. That's what he said. They were going out in nature and like figuring out what the bees were doing out in the wild.
It sounds really good. I've got a bunch of the Acorn Foundation, which, obviously it's different. Hey, Mr. Jim. Obviously it's a little bit different, right? So,
hey, Jim.
Hey, James.
The main thing is I wish they made a plastic frame. Because you still, here's, again, if you're doing 1 or 2 colonies, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But when you start doing 20, 50, 100 colonies, and you still have to build the frames or buy them pre-assembled, then you have to take the foundation and put it in it.
A lot of hand movement.
Yeah, so I mean, Acorn makes the foundation like that, and then they also make the plastic frames. And I think who is it? Peerco does it as well. At least the frames. I don't know if they do the foundation or not. So, I'll be interested to see. I hope they do. I hope they do start making plastic frames because the plastic frames are cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line is
Have you guys seen
they're lighter.
Have you
Go
ahead.
Go ahead, Rich.
I was going to ask, have you guys seen the actual wax that's already formed? Like the foundation that's already formed?
Yeah, Better Bee has some.
Okay. All right. I was curious if you
Better
guys had seen that.
Comb or something like that they called it.
Yeah, don't buy it.
That's what I heard.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you're in a northern climate where it doesn't get 110 degrees, it holds up better. What happens is when the heat down here in the south, it starts to stretch the comb.
Gotcha. Okay.
Stretch. And I learned that because Backyard Bees NC had bought a bunch of it, and it started showing showing how the heat in North Carolina was messing with the comb after.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is here in Texas.
The only downside I've seen to the plastic or the plastic frames is they like to draw wax on the top bar of it also.
Yeah, because they're indiscriminate when they spray them with wax, so they get the wax all over everything.
I don't have too many of the plastic. I don't have too many of the plastic frames, so I mean, when I do go in and see it, I'll just scrape it off the top bar. I mean, it ain't hard or no problem. It's just a little more aggravating for me.
Hey guys, do us a favor when you come in, smash that thumbs up button, please. We appreciate.
Hillbilly said that one of the people. One of the big schools is going to try the peppermint thing down in Florida.
Yeah, University of Florida. I saw one of the guys down there. I saw where he said that. They said that in his video, he said that they would do it on one of their colonies, have them do it on one of the colonies.
Yeah.
To test it.
I think Hillbilly's onto something there, man.
All I can say is working for me.
Yeah.
Right now. So
it is doing a job here at mine.
So.
And it was the way the old school beekeepers did it was they went around door to door, as just an extra food source. So like Hillbilly was saying, man, maybe it was just a fantastic mistake. That kind of was brushed under the rug kind of thing,
or the word didn't get out. They didn't have the internet back then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't have the internet 70 years ago.
It was snail mail.
Yeah, snail mail.
And who's going to write a letter?
I still actually do a little snail mail every now and then.
Usually it's a bill or something.
Now, what I like whenever I turn my registration or anything in with the state for all my bees, I have a wax seal that's in the shape of a honeybee.
Nice, man.
And you buy wax sticks that go in a hot glue gun.
Hey,
it's like a red metallic wax that I put on, stamp it with my honeybee, and send it off to the state.
Hey, Rich, when you have an hour, there is a video out there called Honeybee Democracy. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube. It's called Honeybee Democracy.
Possibly.
And I found it really interesting. And it's basically it's the waggle dance, right? But it's specifically the waggle dance as it pertains to swarms and how they come to consensus on where their new home's going to be. Mm-hmm. So
I oftentimes think about that. The whole communication channel between bees, so much more complex than ours is.
Well,
you think of the colony mentality, though. That's what I always think about, that colony mentality. Because not one bee is going to make up the decision. It's going to be a colony decision. They're going to make the decision as a whole.
Yeah, so on this video,
hey, Bruce.
He was saying how the...
Hey, James. Hey, Mike.
How in a swarm, there may be 100 or 200
there you go, James.
bees that are going out and finding locations, right? And then by the time...
Hey, Brian.
By the time they decide to take a spot, every every scout that comes back in does their does a waggle dance.
Yeah, does their little dance. Yeah.
And they're all different, right? Because it's all different locations.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely, every one of those scout bees will come to the same consensus on which house is the best.
Yeah.
And once that happens, they say within 60 seconds, the whole swarm will take off.
Yeah.
It's
a collective decision.
It was an experiment. They went on this island that was 6 miles off the coast. So they couldn't fly over the water, and they were set up these different size swarm traps.
Mm-hmm.
And then they determined what size was optimum, right? And every time they reset the colony or reset the swarm, and they marked every single bee in the swarm, that every time they went to the same colony, they came to the same consensus. So if they moved that one colony somewhere else, they all end up coming to consensus and moving to that colony. So it was really kind of interesting. It was an hour, and it was scientific nerdy bee stuff. But if you like scientific nerdy bee stuff, check it out. It's an older video. It's called Honeybee Democracy, I think it's what it's called. So
the one I watched recently was called A World Without Bees. And it was on Documentary World or something like that. It was really good. It's a lot of subtitles because it was foreign. It's French and sounded like South America. You know,
what I thought
Venezuela,
was funny when it first started out, the video started out like in English, talking about, hey, this, and then it swapped to the other language.
Where it got scary?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I didn't get your other email, Rich, until after the live that night when you told me you wanted to put that link up. I didn't see it.
Yeah, and what scared me was that lady was talking about, hey, man, if the bees vanish, hey, if we lose bees, right, we have about 3 years of food stores available before we start losing, crops and things like that. You put it in a perspective like that,
man.
That's scary. And it showed people in China, this area in Sichuan, China, it's like just this vast stretch where there's so much chemical usage that they have to go by and hand pollinate the trees. It's crazy.
There you go, Brian.
Feverfew
tincture.
Migraines. Good for headaches.
Oh, nice.
The
home herbal stuff.
Here's a question for the viewers. Do any of you guys have the Hilco heated bottling tank? If you do, give us your unbiased opinion. Because there were some things that I liked about it looking at it online and some things I really didn't like about it. And I'm trying to decide if what I didn't like about it outweighs what I did.
Boone's bees, true story, man. Without the bees, we die.
Let me see. So on the bottling tank, it looks like they just have a regular stainless steel ball valve, 1-inch ball valve, and a 1-inch inlet for the water. So that's a little bit different than the Lysin or the Maxant for that matter. So.
And we lost Rich.
Yeah, he does that arbitrarily. He might have accidentally hit the button. He'll come back. But so yeah, that's kind of what the next piece of equipment I'm kind of looking at. I did order bottles today from Gamber Container. I did find one. There's a bottling place in Lima, Ohio, that has pretty cheap bottles, like 40 something cents. So,
including lid or not?
I think it was called U.S. Container, or I think that's what the name of it was. I'm not
Is
sure.
Is your uncle okay, Brian?
Yeah, sorry to hear about that, Brian.
Yeah, man. You all right?
What happened? Oh, 2 uncles are sick. One has cancer and one has a small stroke last night. Oh, yeah. Real sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Prayers be with you.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Praying for him. But yeah, we're hanging out, man. We thought we'd get on here and do a little beekeeping live chat, see if anybody had any kind of questions.
I'm wondering where Hillbilly is tonight.
Well, if he's watching that video that
Castle Brown.
that Castle Grounds Apiary put out, he's probably celebrating right now. No, I'm just kidding. You did good, man. Content it's funny for putting content out in the month of March. I was number 2 to Black Mountain Honey. So, and then he said, but if it was content hours watched, I would probably be the winner because of these long live streams we do.
Yeah.
And, and my videos are typically longer. So it was just, it was interesting. He just has this big spreadsheet, man, and it tracks increase on viewers, how many subs you went up from month to month, all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was
pretty
laughing
cool to look at.
last night.
I look at my things in the back office, right? But I've never compared those to anybody else's because it's not a competition, but it's interesting to see what's happening. And, it's good to see my buds channels getting more subs and more views and, everybody's Lee's, yours, Rich, a lot of people in here that come in here, their channels are blowing up. Well, South Carolina Happy Bees, his was up near the top on a couple things like percent of increase, and LaGrange Bees, his was going up. You get that mean dog from, man. I'm surprised you don't let his hair grow out and then spike it up.
He can't. He's short hair, man.
Is this short hair?
Yeah, his hair won't grow out.
Talking about the long lives, I was laughing last night. Greg was talking about they were getting toward the end of their show. He's like, yeah, Kodiak Farm and Walker Bee Ranch, they do like 6-hour lives sometimes.
And we started shortening them down, though, because, what happens is you can only talk about the same stuff for so long, right? And then it's just kind of same
Especially
stuff.
with weather lately, in and out of the yard with rain. So if you can't get out there, you hadn't done anything new.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have that problem because it's supposed to rain here next Wednesday, and that's when I'm supposed to go back in the Demaray. Every Wednesday that I've been in there, it's kind of been doing that, overcast or rainy.
Yeah. Well, I'm finally back on 410s now, so hopefully I can get in the yard at least tomorrow and Sunday. Maybe Saturday evening, but I got the farmer's market Saturday morning.
You do pretty good at the farmer's market selling your product, Lee?
Sometimes case and a half. Sometimes it might be 3 cases. We're only down there for like 5 hours.
Okay. All right.
I need to get Dennis down here. Dennis only lives about maybe an hour from me, a little bit over an hour from me.
And your honey house, how's that going, Bob?
Well, the outside is done. I haven't messed with the inside at all. It still looks like inside of a porch with the siding up on it. But,
that's only from the inside. The outside looks good.
Yeah, the outside looks good.
Nobody asks guys what the inside looks like.
The inside, I'm debating whether to insulate it or not to insulate it because really there's no need to insulate that because there's no heating and air in that area. I just have a ceiling fan, So it's like, then if I put some kind of AC out there, then it would make sense to try to keep it in. But if it's only a little space AC for a few hours that I'm going to be in there,
you could just put a honey warmer
you got
in
a
there
door
too.
on each side.
Hell, in the summertime, that whole room would be a honey warmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you got a door on each side of it, though, you can crack them open and let it breathe.
Blow the air through, right?
Might have to put a screen door on there to keep bees out.
Yeah, that's true. You can put the screen door on it. So yeah, I really haven't messed with the inside yet. But I haven't. I need to run the electric in there, and the electrician I talked to decided he wasn't going to contact me back for whatever. I guess he don't need any money, so I don't know if I'm going to pull it off the existing circuitry because I already have a refrigerator and a computer pulling like 1,000 watts out there right now. So it's not like
it's got like its own power system, its own power grid.
It does pretty much. You were at the VA today. Oh yeah, it did go bad for like an hour, and
raining chickens and bees. I like that instead of cats and dogs, chickens and bees.
And I've got to go. Well, I don't know when my next VA appointment is right now, but
I'm just trying to get it
right down the road for me, man. If I'd have known that, I would have came down there and brought you some donuts or something, or we could have met at Dunkin's or Krispy Kreme or something right across the street from them.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to get an appointment scheduled to go get rated for my knees, and I can't even do that because they keep scheduling me on days that I work.
you
Like,
get donuts out. Brian might show up now.
Yeah,
uh,
if you need a Krispy Kreme, Brian might fly in.
and Brian's like, "What donuts? No,
They're hot, fresh, and ready. When
hot
that
fresh,
light
Brian."
comes on, when that light comes on, it's time to buy them hot donuts coming right off the line.
When I was working down by New Orleans, I'd get off at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to pass Krispy Kreme on the way home. And every time when I was passing, that light would be coming on. I'd have to pull in.
Have to stop
Yep.
right then and there, huh?
You'd be amazed when that light comes on, man. How
When
long?
Queen Room-
I have not done any grafting myself, Bobby.
My mentor is going to teach me queen grafting this year.
I thought someone said like 3 days, right? No brood or anything for like 3 days.
I would, to make sure they're not trying to draw any new queen cells, any from the eggs or any larva that was left. And if you do go back in and they got any drawing, break them off, smash them, make sure they're totally queenless, and then start putting grafts in. Now, I haven't done it yet either. This will be my first year, but from what I've been studying and checking in, that's how they're talking about doing it.
Well, I've been just doing the, with the Demeray, they make me a couple frames of cells. It might be 5 or 10, but I don't need more than 5 or 10, at a time. So, I mean, that's worked out pretty well so far as being able to pull queens and at least queen cells. And
that's what my mentor did, Lee, something similar to that. But what he did, like, he blocked off 2 sides and he's going to put room for honeycomb on it, like comb on each side. And he, instead of doing like 14, I think he's cutting his down to like 12 to see if he can get a higher return rate.
Yeah, Dennis, please do call me next time you're in town. We'll meet up or something, or hell, I'm right down the road from the VA. I mean, literally right down.
That's right. You're not far at all, are you, Bob?
No,
you're
like 4 or 5 miles straight down the road the VA's on.
That's right. So. You're right there, Jackson. I keep forgetting.
Yep, right by Fort Jackson.
Yeah.
So, and I'm getting a lot of wild berries that are blooming in my irrigation ditch by my mailbox, and their bees were all on that today.
You got some blackberries, or?
Yeah, wow. Well, this is the first year I've had them in the ditch, but as long as the county don't come out and mow the ditches, the bees have been on that pretty good. And it's funny, it's like honeybees don't like the same flowers, some of the same flowers that the carpenter bees like. The carpenter bees are all on some of my bushes and stuff, and the honeybees aren't. And it's kind of interesting to see.
Carpenter bees pollinate some of those big thistle plants too.
And
see them roaming around on those.
I've seen some. I might stop and use that app one day, because one of the farmers' fields up the road from here, I think it's either I'm not familiar with all the different kinds of fields. I don't know if it's soybean, or canola or what, but it's getting a yellow flower, almost like goldenrod, but it's not the time of the year for goldenrod here. It's a yellow like flower. So
kind of short.
Yeah.
I say short, maybe 1.5 to 2 foot tall.
Yeah.
It may be bitterweed.
Bitterweed.
Yeah.
So
we get a lot of that here.
And that's blooming, but it's in the farmer's field. So I don't know there's other plants, vegetation growing there that they're growing. I don't know if it's corn or what they're growing, but that's in there as well. So
I know we got a whole bunch of fleabane starting to grow right now, little white flowers with a yellow center. And the bees are all over that.
We just got a bunch of yellows and whites popping up. Some I noticed the pears are popping out here. And some small yellows, man.
Our dogwoods are doing pretty good right now.
The Bradford pears are popping out real good here, but the bees don't really mess with them.
They got a bounty on Bradford pears here in South Carolina. They will pay you to take your tree down.
I think there's supposed to be an invasive species in most areas.
Really?
Yeah, they consider it invasive here, and they don't smell that nice either. So,
come here, buddy. Come on.
But yeah, so
Right now
what's your
about the only thing we got growing, we got the bitterweed, which it ain't much of that left. We got the fleabane, white clover, and we still got a little bit of dandelions left. Most of the dandelions already gone to seed.
what what's the next thing you got to do in your bee yard? I know you said you were doing some painting.
I got a stack of hives, or not hives, supers right here that I waxed last night, actually, during the Stream Team Live. I was listening to them and waxing foundation. I got to put my final coat of paint on them. And I'm hoping Sunday, I'm check a couple of hives, see if they're getting ready for any supers.
I've got supers on most of my singles, most of my single deeps. We got a little bit of dandelions popping up here. They're still real small, small dandelions, but they are starting to pop up. I didn't look at the extractors only because I just bought an extractor, so I don't need one at this point. But the I did look at the bottling tank, and the price is right. However, a couple things at this moment that I didn't like about it is the inlet and the actual outlet. I didn't know if I liked the ball valve, the stainless steel ball valve on the front, compared to that one drip valve, right? And the one drip valve won't fit on there. Not if it's 1 inch, because I believe that's 1.25 inches. So I'd have to buy a stainless steel bushing or a coupling to change it up a bit. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I almost pulled the trigger and bought it, but you rendered some wax.
As for Mike's question, 100% beeswax. I melt it down in a 4-quart crock pot and take a 4-inch sponge roller, and I roll it onto my foundation.
I think he was talking. He thought you were.
If you mix paraffin,
I thought he was talking about waxing the boxes.
Oh no, I don't wax mine. I do have 5 supers that I'm going to try the Eco wood dip on this year and see how that works.
Well, I got 50 of them. You should just wait and see how mine do.
Well, I figured I'd do 5 of them, and then after the flow, take all my frames out, and I'm going to leave the boxes out in the weather the rest of the year.
Technically, I got 75 boxes in that because I got 25 deeps and 50 supers that have been dipped or dipped in Eco wood. Yeah, they're darkening up good. I haven't noticed any curve in or warping or anything on the boxes. So the Eco wood right now seems like it's doing pretty good. I saw somebody use another product online called Nano, and
I've heard it. I was seeing something about that too. Yeah,
and it comes in a 1 gallon pail, and you do the same thing. But I don't know if what it's gonna, if it's worth it. It's like $50 a gallon for that stuff, but paint is like $50 a gallon right now. So
I paid $53 today for my finished paint on these.
Yep.
But I used a Bare exterior. I think it's lifetime warranty. Mm-hmm. It's the primer and paint in one, but it's a latex enamel. The enamel makes it dry a little bit harder and more slick, so the rain run off easier.
That's what I painted my boxes with. I went and got that paint I was telling you about.
The Oops paint?
Exterior latex, yeah, man. The enamel paint. That way when it dries, it's like the water just runs off of it, basically.
Now, Gus put out a video today where he just uses, what do you call it, contractor paint or something like that?
Maintenance paint. Yeah, maintenance.
Maintenance paint.
Now, when I prime my boxes, I prime them with Zenzier oil-based primer. That way it gets a good penetration. And once that dries, I put 2 coats of primer, and then I put at least 2 finish coats of the latex enamel over that.
You rolling it or spraying it?
I'm rolling it right now. I was spraying it. I have an airless sprayer.
Right.
That was from my dad. He done contract work. And then I have the little Wagner electric sprayer, whatever it is. Just blows air. But then I have the airless, which actually just pressurizes the paint itself.
I'll tell you, the best luck that I've had with paint on boxes so far, believe it or not, has been on the Nukes. and I just used that. I either use the Fusion spray can on the nuke boxes or that Max. I think it's called Rust-Oleum Max or something like MAXX, and it's a primer paint gloss, and that stuff's held up really good on the nuke boxes. All right, I'll check that one out. Make bottling. I don't have my glasses on. I got to read on.
Make bottling honey easy with a 15-gallon honey tank and stainless steel dripless ball valve.
Yeah, those stainless steel dripless ball valves are $200 right now.
Dang, $200
for that valve out there.
Wow, $200, man.
That's the
And,
16-gallon
don't they, huh?
with the dripless valve or the
Yeah,
one
Ricky,
drip valve.
I hate painting too. That's why I tried the Eco Wood this year.
Hey, Ricky, how you doing tonight, man?
Hopefully, it wasn't a $2,500 box sacrifice for a test.
That's why I'm only doing 5.
Right.
Bobby said he did his with linseed oil last year, and it seems to be doing good. Boxes still look new. Okay.
The boiled linseed oil.
Linseed oil, yeah,
it's pretty good. Just make sure.
I got liquid lanolin though.
Make sure you don't let your rags stay balled up. They'll ignite.
Yes, sir. Burn your house down. It happened to my aunt a couple times, man. She had her house redone, and the contractors left some linseed oil. Caught her house on fire, man.
That's what I did my hardwood floors in here.
Yeah.
We always had a problem with the
don't throw it in the trash can.
Shipping off. So I sanded it all down with a floor sander, made it nice and smooth, and then just used boiled linseed oil and mineral spirits together. Yeah. Diluted it to make it absorb better into the wood.
The wood probably soaked it up.
Yep, and it soaked it right in. You just keep putting it on, and then finally get some nice sheen on it.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat here. Anybody want to click on it and join into the room?
So you can do the risky business slide in your boxers down the hallway.
Right.
Well, what I'm thinking about doing, I mean, if the Eco Wood stuff works out pretty good, I would still like to paint at least the front of the box. That way I got different colors.
Yeah.
Right.
And then still, after the paint dries, dip everything. And that way I'm only painting one side versus 4.
True. So, yeah, I haven't put any paint on the box since I put the Eco Wood on it, on any of them, any finish other than the Eco Wood. That's all I've got on. And they've been sitting from the day that I constructed them. I think it was like the next day after that I dipped them, and they've been sitting on those stands out there the whole time.
You bought them pre-assembled, or you had to assemble them?
No, I had to build those. I had to build all those. So
I did that one time with 2 boxes and 2 supers, and I swore I'd never do it again.
Really?
I'll pay the extra $1 for them to put it together for me.
Yeah, usually I
will
do.
Too.
But when you go in there when I went in there, I bought what I could already assembled, and then the rest was unassembled. And I mean, they didn't have 50 supers assembled, so I was slamming them together. And but it's one of those things to where I'm the same way. My time is more valuable than the $50 or $100 it would have taken. I did the burning before.
I like the burning, Dennis. That's what I do with mine, man. I like it.
The only reason I haven't done it again is because my torch is broken. I just didn't buy a new torch yet.
I always misplace mine, or I leave it in one of my other yards. So I swing by Home Depot.
Or by the time I go to use it, my gas tank's empty, and then I'm like, damn, I got to go get more gas. We'll just paint this one.
Tell you a quick trick. Go on Amazon. You can find a propane refill valve. Basically, you take your full-size 5-gallon propane bottle, screw this little adapter on it, and turn your bottle upside down.
Oh, really?
Screw your small propane bottle on, and then open the valve. Wait 30 seconds, close the valve, and it's refilled. The little adapter's only like $5-7.
Okay. Yeah. So you're doing a horizontal hive, so you can't really dip the horizontal hive, right? So I've seen where people have had it in a pump sprayer and they just pump sprayed it on. I've seen people that have just brushed it on. and let
You
it
could
dry.
probably roll it on too, huh?
You could probably roll it on.
Brush
Yeah,
it.
probably.
It's just
Sprayer seems pretty. Like if you're sprayer seems like a good way to go.
I'll tell you what, I've got 5 gallons of it. I did 75 boxes, and I still have about 4 gallons of it left.
Dang.
Yeah, they say it don't take much.
Well, yeah, the problem is you got to have enough. So when whatever tank you're dipping it in, you have to have it deep enough, right? So it covers the inside of the box as well. And then you just spin it. I actually got a video on doing it.
I brush eco on my Lands hives, Iowa Lands beekeeping. Okay.
So I got a video. I think it's called "If This Works, I'll Never Paint a Hive Again." I think that's the actual name of the video. So it's really simple. Just use a tote. You mix the chemical in 5 gallon. Well, it depends the pack size you get, right? I use the 5 gallon pack size.
Yeah.
And don't order it from Man Lake. Don't order it from Man Lake. Order it from Amazon, because for what you pay at Man Lake for 1 gallon, you can get the 5 gallon pack for the same price on Amazon.
You can actually pick up Eco Wood at Home Depot too.
Oh, do they have it there?
Yeah. They carry it for the 5 gallon pack. I believe it's $50 or $52.
Yeah, that's what I paid for, like $50, 56 bucks, something like that in that area. But yeah, it's working right now. I mean, the bees haven't complained about it.
Yeah,
I've used it, and actually, it's nice. It does kind of dry the wood out. Does that make sense? It like seasons the wood a little bit, and the inside it's not as smooth as like the fresh boards when you get there. It's a little bit got a little more texture to it. Yeah. So
Ricky's asking Dennis how his hives are doing.
Hey, Ricky, by the way, those 2 splits that I made into the horizontal hive, I got some that was hatching out because I put capped brood in there too. They've been flying in and out, doing orientation flights and coming in. So hopefully my queens come back. I marked a couple of the entrances with paint marker, different colors and different shape.
Did you didn't take no pictures of that? You're supposed to be able to share this content.
I've seen other keepers do that. One guy did it. He took like pieces of wood. He cut little wood rounds, and then he, put different designs.
I thought about just getting like, even if it was like every team in the SEC, like a sticker, like their logo, and just slapping it on the front.
See if that helps.
It would. It's something different.
Different shape, different color.
And it would work. My colonies right now, I mean, they might have a different box on it or different color box or whatever, but I've been trying to change. I've got one colony that I thought was doing real good. It's the one that's only got the screen bottom board. The only hive I've got with the screen bottom board that kind of sits off to the side, the gray one. It's not doing too good, man. It's got bees in it, but they're just not like growing. So I think I'm going to try to scalp maybe a frame of brood out of maybe 2 or 3 different colonies and just drop it in there and let them start hatching out and see if that turbocharges her. But I don't know why she's well, you can't say because we've had that crazy warm and then cold, and because there's no solid bottom on her colony. I'm sure they're a little bit colder than the other colonies. So
all the extra cap brood, that'll give them a good boost and more bodies in there warming the cell up.
So we're going to try to do that. It's just I keep manipulating and keep equalizing and keep moving stuff around, right? It's like, gosh, just get a flow and blow up. Let's do it already, Yeah.
Like tomorrow, I got 1 hive in yard number 2 and 2 hives in yard number 3 that are a little bit weak. Not too bad, but they're getting low on stores. So I'm going to run by tomorrow and put a gallon of sugar water on each one of those 3.
I'll tell you
what.
Brian.
Brian's taking off for the night. Good night, Brian.
All right, Brian.
Hey, condolences to your family, man. Have a good night, man. Take care of your family first, man.
But
always.
That might be the colony I need to take if Monster Hive doesn't accept this queen. That may be the colony I go ahead and just merge them with.
How you planning on doing your merge?
I'd probably just do a paper combine with them because they're a bigger, stronger colony.
Yeah.
And by the time I'd put the mean colony on top of the not mean colony, right? And then let them eat through. And by the time they get through that paper, maybe they won't wipe that queen out. But if the queen's failing in that colony, or it might be the queen. If it's the queen, then if she gets wiped out, then I'm be making a split anyway.
When you're merging two colonies like that, does it matter which colony to merge with which? Like, do you always merge a meaner colony with the calmer colony, or like how you're saying, Bob, you have monster hive that's really hot, right?
Right.
And then you say you're going to do a paper merge with that other one.
Well, what I would do is I'm going to leave whichever one has the queen the most undisturbed, right?
Okay.
So the one with the queen, I'm going to leave where it's at in place, doing what it's doing, and then I would put the paper on top of that colony, and
merge it with
make the asshole bees do the work,
gotcha.
and go through, right? So, and hopefully it works out, But that's only if they don't take the one of them. I put 5 queen cells in there. I put a frame with 5 queen cells in there. One of those queens, if they don't take to it and do the thing, then they're just going to be done.
I told Renee about it last night, and she said whenever she finds out you coming, she's bringing the dog to work with her. She won't let me have it.
That's funny. But yeah,
I would bring him in here, but I don't allow him in this room because that's where I bottle honey.
Well, I got to get my. Hey, Matt and Sarah, good to see you.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you guys here.
Yeah, man.
It's nice.
We got 17. We're getting all the all-stars in here. Castle, Matt and Sarah, Iowa Lands. We got everybody. So everybody subscribe to everybody in the channel. Everybody's got a channel. Everybody subscribe to everybody. We're trying to
pretty much sub everybody.
Ricky made that list a while ago too with Castle Grounds Apiary.
Yeah, Ricky did make that list. So
if you ain't seen that video, Ricky, go look at Castle Grounds Apiary. He done a list earlier with a spreadsheet showing the growth of each beekeeping channel.
You leveled up. So yeah, you'll be surprised. We get some people in here. Ian's been in the chat. We've had Dirt Rooster actually came on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get Mr. Ed on the show, but he hadn't responded to the email yet, so we don't know if that's going to happen.
He will at some point when he's got the time, no doubt.
I'm sure he's busy. We all been busy.
Yeah.
Actually, we need to go on his live because he's got many more subs than we do.
Might have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, hey,
we've had Dirt Rooster in on the stream. We've had Greg in here too.
Yeah, we've
had Hillbilly.
We've had Bruce's Bees.
Yep.
Hey, Hillbilly, don't say that.
You are not.
Hey, buddy.
Here with us.
Hey, get in here with us, man.
You're the peppermint king right now, man.
Because you obviously haven't heard. You're like the champion. There were so many accolades coming. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat too. Anybody want to join in?
There were so many accolades that were thrown at you on Castle Grounds Apiary channel a little while ago with the way your channel's growing and everything.
Yeah, he was getting up there. What, number 2, huh?
Yeah, he was number 2. The only person that had higher growth than him.
I was listening on your phone. I had my screen muted.
Oh no, he was number 2 on the list, but it was line number 2, so he was number 1 because the top number line number 1 on the spreadsheet was the header across the top. So, oh man,
yeah, we understand, brother.
You can't come on. Okay, we'll let you slide tonight. Oh,
yeah.
Hold on. This is for Matt and Sarah. There you go. They're in Minnesota, right?
Minnesota Vikings.
Hey, I'm going to give a little plug here real quick. Anybody wants a nice stainless steel cup, laser engraved, go see Matt and Sarah on their Etsy shop.
Oh, I thought you was going to send me one for free. That's why I was.
You might have to talk to Matt on that one.
I'm beekeeping poor right now.
You're not housebroke, you're beekeeping poor.
Man.
That's the new term.
What's that?
I like it.
Beekeeping
I like
broke?
that. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to
Man.
say, if you want to be a millionaire with bees, you got to start out with 2 million. And then you'll be down to 1 million before you know it. After you buy all that equipment.
Well,
I got more equipment coming tomorrow, man. It's expensive.
Okay, so let's do some quick math over the last 3 months. Just the last 3 months. January, February, March. I bought $2,500 in boxes. Right? I bought 6 cases of frames.
No kidding, Matt and Sarah. With wood prices.
I bought over 500 frames. So that's another $500-$600, right? So that's $3,000. I bought $4,000 in extracting equipment. Man. And then I had to wrap the damn building that I put the extracting equipment in.
You sound like me. You put the cart ahead of the horse. You bought the extractor.
It's like you locked the barn after the door, or locked the barn after the horse left, kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to start a GoFundMe account. Matter of fact, everybody do a super chat right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Dennis, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go pick up pallets, man, and probably make some nuke boxes. I could go to my scrapyard here, and there's like, I was talking to Houston Shelton. He's like, yeah, go grab all that plywood, man. He's all, those make good nuke boxes. He's all, go grab all that scrap wood out there, man. Is that you make nuke boxes for days.
The only thing is you put a solid bottom board, like if you attach the bottom board to the bottom of them with the disc on the front, do yourself a favor, drill a couple tiny, tiny holes in the bottom for like weep holes in case any liquid gets in there.
All right.
Feed or something, or
see you, Ricky. Have a good night, man.
Whatever. It's got a place for it to drain out, and it doesn't like hold the water in the bottom.
Yeah.
Got that problem sometimes.
Okay.
You got the extractor, still haven't built the spot. I think Mike, don't you have the 20 frame license? I think he does. I think I saw his video. He's got a 20 frame license, but it's pretty nice. Matter of fact, I apologize, Mike. It took me so long to sub to your channel because I should have subbed way before now, and I just subbed yesterday. Yeah, good night, Ricky.
See you, man. Good night, Ricky.
Go with us one night.
Hi, Ricky.
It's funny when you name the chat "No Life Beekeeping," you get a lot of people
with no lives.
No life beekeepers, and here we are talking beekeeping. So, yeah. So I'm
20.
I just hope I got enough honey to fill a 30 frame extractor this year. I'll be kind of sad if I don't. So
we seem to have done pretty good this year, like through the winter, actually, didn't you? You put out a lot of honey the last few months, though.
I did. So the thing is that last year, a lot of my colonies were going from nuke to 10 frame, right? Mm-hmm. So they really weren't in the condition to start really making honey. This year should be a different situation. So hopefully now
we'll talk bees with you here, Dennis. Nobody wants to talk bees with me here.
We're talking extracting now.
Yeah.
Be related.
It's be related.
Be related.
Matter of fact, if you want to bring supers down, Dennis, we can extract them in my brand new honey equipment.
Oh man, you could break in his new extractor.
I won't even charge you rent. We'll just make a video.
Man. Right? Do a test run on it.
Try it out. Yeah. Try it out. Hell yeah.
Man.
I mean, I'm just from the time increase or the time decrease, I guess it should take.
Do your thing, Hillbilly.
But I'm listening. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if you fall asleep, hell, I was like that earlier. I was like nodding off. It's been one of them kind of days. But you know, I've got to go. Hopefully tomorrow, knock on wood, the weather will be better, and I'm gonna get out there and try to check up on the peppermint colonies, see how they're doing, make sure they're good to go. I've got to probably. I don't know if those other cells would be capped yet. They should be. I mean, tomorrow will be the 9th day.
Have you guys hit your main flow yet? Nobody has, huh?
No, not yet.
Nobody.
I have.
In the next
We
couple
got a
weeks,
little privet bud starting to come out, but it's still
Mhm.
a couple of weeks away from opening up.
Gotcha. Okay.
the next couple weeks we should be starting it. And I've already got supers on most of my stuff, at least one. So if they get froggy and we get a little burst early, they can start drawing
Storing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, editing's not too bad. I mean, you see my crappy videos. My videos, I don't do much editing. The hardest part about what I've been doing lately is with the 2 GoPros, just syncing up the scenes to make sure that if I'm holding a frame over here, that in the other half of the frame, that I'm actually holding the frame and not just standing there looking into the beehive abyss. What you got over there, Lee?
Something that makes me cry every time I see it. You were just talking about spending and the cost of beekeeping equipment and woodenware and everything else. I just took a little snippet shot out of my accounting software, and I just highlighted one spot. And
The total?
This is since probably about December of 2020, January of 21. So basically a year and 4 months. Tell me what you think on this.
$36,190.
And how long? 2 years?
No, about a year and 3 months, year and 4 months.
Okay.
What about the but you don't have it like a P&L though. You don't have it where your honey sales and
no, that's just what I've spent. That don't include whatever I made.
I guess I don't need to ask you how much profit you made, because I'm pretty sure you didn't profit over $36,000. But
I just started pulling honey last year for the first time.
Yeah, like me, right? So,
yep.
And you said you got how many gallons?
449 pounds.
All right, so that's $4,000, $5,000 maybe.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I mean, that's all my hives, all my supers, extraction equipment. I mean, that includes everything that I do basically for the farm. The battery powered weed eater I bought to cut around the hives. That way I don't have the gas. That includes everything.
I didn't track my first years. There's Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah.
Now the beekeeping talk can start.
So Matt and Sarah said they got the GoPro 10. They don't like it. It's like kind of bells and whistles, isn't it, Matt, Sarah? That's what I was kind of reading about it online. It's almost like the 9 is better from what I understand.
Lee said there was a firmware update today.
They done a firmware update in November that fixed a lot of the issues, and they had an update come out yesterday, and I just updated it 5 minutes before we started the stream.
It's pretty important to update those. You have to.
I use a Hero 5 on my chest harness, and sometimes I'll just hold it because it's smaller than the Max, and I usually have the GoPro Max on the tripod, so use that a lot.
Yeah, Mike, I went into winter last year with 24 hives, and I came out, I lost 4 between 2 abscons and 2 dead outs. So I'm at 20 right now. And I just made, 2 splits the other day? 3.
Yep. 2 or 3
So I
splits.
guess I'm back up to 23 colonies.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's pretty good. That's a good little operation.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get there one day.
How you doing, Charlie?
Oh, not too bad.
I see you joined us for the No Life Beekeeper chat.
Yeah. I was trying to make a forum up, but I can't. I had crashed my hard drive here several months ago, and I used to have this forum program. And, of course, I think with Windows 10, it used to be Almany forums or something like that, but it doesn't work anymore. Anyway, you're talking about the GoPro. I got a 9. It seems to be working fine. I just got it says I have an update for it here today.
So the 9 had an update?
Yeah.
They probably all did. Anything probably 9 on up.
Didn't have an update.
Yeah. The last update on the Max was December 17th of 2020.
Be my luck, I bought the only one they're not doing firmware updates anymore for.
Think about it though. You bought the one that don't need the firmware update.
Yeah, or they just I have that problem. I used to buy a lot of Asus computer equipment, and I like their product. However, they get to a spot like a certain point, and they just stop any support on it. So,
well, Windows has gone to that. Microsoft Windows. If you don't do your updates when you're supposed to, after so many months of not updating, they discontinue any service for you.
They did that with Windows 7 and XP. They just stopped doing the updates for it. If you didn't upgrade after like 2019, they said no more product service after this.
Right. So what you been up to, Mr. Charlie?
Not much. It's raining here today, and
it rained really hard here for about an hour, and then the sun came out, and it was like it never happened.
Yeah, it was warm today. It was like 60, almost 70 degrees, but then it's been raining here at night a little bit tonight, and it's supposed to sort of clear up, I guess, for the weekend. I want to get into my hives, and especially the honey hives, and pull the feeders off and rearrange them and everything. So I don't know whether I'll get that done Saturday or not.
I'm gonna go look at a couple colonies tomorrow. I'm still at 70 degrees right now, so
right here
at 9:46 at night here. So
72.
It's 58 degrees.
72 here. 80 high of 83 tomorrow.
I got 62. But our low tonight is going to be like 47, and then it warms back up in the 70s for the rest of the week.
So Charlie, since you really haven't gotten to the spring-ish point like we have down here, what kind of things are you doing right now as preparation for your upcoming season? Since you're a little bit further north, what kind of things are you knocking out?
Well, I did get in a couple of my hives. I got one hive at it's a queenless hive. It did have a queen cell in it. Now, whether it's any good or not, I suspect it's got a laying worker in there. So I got to do something with that. And then the next one I got over where I took off the feeder, which was a sugar,
the sugar
stem, and it's got plenty of bees. There's a queen. I mean, I don't know. I'm right on the cusp. I mean, our normal flow starts between April, May, and June. April's here, and the evening. I've been looking at the 10-day, and the evenings are they're in the 50s and 40s, and during the day they're out the 60s. So they're going to be flying. The maples are starting to pop. The Bradford pears are starting to go. And I forget what that one bush is yellow, but spring is right here on top of us. I'm just afraid that it's all going to come at one big rush, and I'm not going to be able to keep up with all the stuff.
My kudzu actually starting to pop blooms on it, so that'll be interesting. We get that stuff all over. You guys get it down there too, don't you, Lee? A lot of kudzu.
That'd be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know if I've ever seen it. If I have, I didn't know.
You seen a building that's got leafy vines all over it? That's kudzu.
Yeah. Okay.
Like where it takes over the whole tree and everything and the houses.
It'll kill a forest. It's a very invasive stuff. Yeah, we have some of it around here and there, but
it'll choke a tree out.
Oh,
for sure. Blocks all the sunlight on it and everything.
That bad, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You can't even see the tree.
What's it called? Kudzu?
Kudzu. Kudzu. Kudzu.
So I don't know. I think I'm gonna get him in. I'm gonna try to get through my 10-frame honey hives this Saturday, and get them in my
Japanese arrowroot
single brood chamber management configuration, and put a honey super on.
If you ask Bob Binney says kudzu makes honey that tastes like grape knee-high, which the last honey that we pulled off did taste a little bit like Skittles. That's the thing that I equated it to. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
this vine densely climbs over other plants and trees, grows so rapidly that it smothers and kills them by blocking out most of the sunlight.
Yep.
It's in the pea family.
It is.
Cool.
I mean, you'll see old buildings that are sitting like old farmhouses and stuff that are sitting there. They're just covered with vines because it's grown up all on them.
Just get engulfed.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. The images are pretty crazy.
So
Wow.
yeah, we got some of that popping. We've got, all kinds of stuff going on right now, but it's just not like in mass. It's not like everywhere, it's just like here and there kind of popping up. And the stuff that I've got in the yard, the carpenter bees love it, and I guess the honeybees don't love it because I see the carpenter bees on the trees and on the bushes, and I don't see very many honeybees. But now the wild blackberries that are growing in the ditch up front, they're on those flowers.
I'm trying to pull up the other plant I have in the front yard now. The bees are all over it. They call it bridal wreath. It's a little bush that grows up, and they normally take cuttings out of it to put in flower decorations.
Bridal
bouquets.
wreath?
Yeah.
Bridal wreath.
Yep.
So I don't know. I got 10 honey supers out of the freezer. I keep my stuff in the freezer. Got that thawed out, ready to go.
It's a nice looking plant, Lee.
Yeah.
nice looking flowers on it.
Did the no word on your bottling tank yet?
Nah. I thought about maybe calling Max in and say, hey, I got this tank ordered to Rossman. I mean, or should I just cancel that and get it directly from you? I doubt if I could.
I got my Maxant bottling tank through Better Bee, and from the time that I ordered, probably about 5 or 6 days, it was sitting on my porch.
And they FedExed it? Or UPS? They FedExed it. Or
They
UPS?
FedExed that.
Now,
my extraction tank, my uncapping tank, and all that come by freight truck.
And I went back and watched that video today, and you know how the damn pallet, the second pallet, was sitting right next to the crate with the extractor in it. So when I'm looking at the video and I'm looking at the crate, I just looked at it afterward. It was literally sitting right next to it.
Hey.
So, but I would have had to make 2 trips anyway. It's just the fear factor was in there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That, or I mean, if you would have known, I don't know if you got a trailer, or access to one, you could have brought with you. If you would have known, it would have took more than one trip.
I could have borrowed one, probably. But I'm going to use the Sawmill Charlie method probably tomorrow.
What's that?
That's what I'm going to call it, the Sawmill Charlie method for single brood management. I'm going to go through probably 3 different colonies, pull out 3 different brood frames, and put it in one of my 10 frame colonies that is not as strong as the other ones. It's weaker, and give them the power boost, give them that old vitamin B, and let them go.
Yeah, well, that's it's called equalizing. I mean, that's what all the commercial guys use and everything.
That colony was doing real well. It's the only one that I had that has a screen bottom board on it, but it's not growing like the other ones are. So I don't know what's going on there. If maybe the queen's starting to fail, or
which one's that? What hive is that? The Demery hive?
No, not the Demeray hive. Hell no. The Demeray hive is the tall one, and then there's one box next to that. But over off to the side, there's a gray hive that's on like 2 cinder blocks sitting down towards the ground. That colony, it's not doing as well as it should. At least it's not up to even where the 5 frame nukes that I just graduated into 10 frames, where they're at. They're stronger than that colony, and that one's been there for over a year.
Good night.
Now, are you getting pollen in?
What's that? Yeah, they're bringing pollen in.
Okay.
Nectar.
They got plenty of nectar in there too. The weak one.
Mm-hmm. And I even at one time had earlier in the month or last month, I had a Ceracell feeder on top of it, and I took it back off because they weren't really taking it out of the feeder. So it was just sitting up there wasting. So
yeah, because I was going to say the thing you will have to watch if you got a weaker colony, if they're a little bit low on food, but it's enough for them. If you're adding more brood to it, you'll have to make sure they got enough nectar to go with it, because more bodies in there, they're going to be using more food.
Maybe I'll just throw some more brood in there and then chuck the feeder back on top of it and let them suck that down and then take the feeder back off again since the honey flow hadn't hit.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you got all your feeders off at least a week before your flow starts, preferably 2 weeks.
The only hive that's got a feeder on it right now is the Demeray, and that was only to try to help them draw out some more comb. So
good night, Bobby.
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, night, Bobby. And so, you know, we'll see what happens. And every time you go out there, it's a new learning experience. Mash the like button. A new learning experience, you know. So we're just trying to get better all the time. But I will say those nukes that I graduated a 10 frame box, I did already equalize them with some brood earlier in the year when I was doing splits. That's why they're stronger. I did take brood from that other colony early, but I didn't like go back and like add anything back after that. And they just haven't recovered since that early the splits. So
I was watching that video that you just put out. I think it was the Demeray where you had like.
I called your name.
I don't think so.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I said, you know, Charlie said there didn't seem to be many bees in this box. So I have to.
Yeah, well, you got down in the bottom down there, you had all them frames of undrawn comb and everything, just foundation.
Yep. See, the first time I did it, like, you know, when I did this, when I actually got the video footage this time, I had already done a Demeray on it. And the first time I did the Demeray, I put drawn comb down there, and they slammed it full of nectar and pollen.
I'm out, guys. I'm gonna call it a night.
All right, Rich. Have a good night, man.
Good talking. See you guys. Have a nice night, guys. Charlie, Bob, y'all. See you. Have a good night, guys.
And so they slammed it full of nectar and pollen. And she did draw up. I mean, she had some brood frames, but in the example video that I saw, that's all Lawrence from Black Mountain Honey did was one frame of brood and frames. And now they've only drawn one side of one frame in 1 week. And there was bees down there enough to cover that. So I don't know if when they cap that, they'll start drawing the outside, right? Probably the other side of that frame, but then they don't have a lot of bees down there to cover them. So I don't know. I'm just trying to think in my mind, but also what I might do, and I've been thinking about this for tomorrow, because after tomorrow, if I pull the other frame that had the queen cells out of there will be no more queen cells in the top. Then I'll probably just close the disc on the back and make all the bees go down to the front entrance. And then they'll have to go down there where the other bees are.
Well, you got, what is it? 2 deeps in between where you got the brood up top?
Two mediums.
2 mediums?
Yeah. Basically, it's the same as like a double screen board. It just puts them far apart. But the idea is that the top box will start storing in the middle, and the bottom box will also start storing in the middle. But on the video that I watched about it is that they didn't take any resources out of the boxes like I've been doing every week since I've been doing this for like a month. I've been taking frames and eggs out, right? They just smashed the queen cells and let all the brood hatch to give it an overwhelming population in there. And I haven't done that. So ideally, what's going to happen now is that the bottom will get drawn out. She did lay the frames up, which is good. Once those get capped, hopefully they'll continue to draw out, and then, you know, the brood from up top will hatch and they'll start moving more. So, because they don't have anything to keep warm up top anymore. And after I take that frame with the queen cells out, I can take the top excluder off. There's no need for that anymore. It's only to keep any queens that might get missed or hatch up top. They can just come down. or can't come down. Sorry. So that's kind of the idea. I was a little bit surprised because the first time I did it when I put the drawn comb in the bottom, there was a lot of bees that moved down and moved back on the inside. But when I did it this last time, most of the bees stayed up top. So that was a little bit different from the two setups. And I mean, he says it works better when there is just empty foundation in the bottom, because as they're drawing the comb, she comes in and starts laying them up before they have time to start stacking stores in them. So she actually gets a better brood pattern, and it basically resets the brood box.
Right.
I was about to say, sometimes she'll start laying in it before the comb's even drawn all the way out to full depth.
Yeah, and
I've seen that in some of my hives over the years.
And then I noticed some of the mistakes I made, which I didn't catch on the video till I watched the video again, and I'm seeing like a lot of drone brood and stuff like that. I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, shoot, that was probably a deep honeycomb that I put in there anyway, and it wasn't a brood cell size. So they were either going to lay drones or they were going to stack honey in it, because it wasn't the proper side for a worker bee. So, you know, that's another benefit of putting foundation in there. They're going to draw it out like they need it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, they get it laid up. I take the two supers off of that, drop the top box back down on the excluder, let the bees work through it, and then put the honey supers back on top. So,
well, what about your other hives? How do you have them configured right now?
a lot of them, I've gotten down to just one brood box. Like even if I had them checkerboarded before, I uncheckerboarded them and put the resources back in the bottom. And so they're in the bottom, and then they'll have a medium super on them. That's it. And that way I don't have excluders on all of them, but that's just because I don't have the excluders. I'm going to let them start trying to expand out that way.
Yeah, and you're saying that you don't have the flow yet.
We've got very little bit of flow right now.
Yeah, they're not going to draw if you don't have a lot of flow, I don't think.
Well, they're stacking it in the bottom box, or if I had a double deep on there, they're really pounding. Like even that Demerray, the top box, they're slamming honey in there, or nectar, what they can find.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, of course, I'm going to try to make a series of videos about this single brood chamber management program, where
there was a guy named Dewan. I think it's Dewan. I don't remember his last name, but he did a series on single brood management that I watched a couple years ago, and he had just one brood box, but it was tall like Lee's, like 5, 6, 7. He was getting on a step ladder with the honey supers. They just were stacking honey up in there.
Now, one thing, when you feed in sugar syrup, they'll kind of store that back sometimes. But I tried it a little bit last year, and it seemed to work. And I've heard other people say instead of mixing 1-to-1, mix it like 3/4 to 1.
A little bit
weaker on the sugar. And they don't really want to store that. It's enough carbohydrates, though, it'll make them draw the wax out.
I haven't even really been feeding. I mean, when I do like an open feed or something like that, I probably haven't put feed out in a week right now. I've got feed on that one colony, just to try to get them to draw some foundation. But other than that, I haven't. Just puts foundationless frames in the bottom of the Demerray. I'll have to try to check his video out, because the foundationless is kind of tricky when you first start, because if you got all foundationless in there, they can basically draw the comb any way they want to, right? They can go anyway because there's no divider in between. They can run the comb crazy or any way they want.
I mean, checkerboard in some foundationless, and that would be a little more work on, kind of more of a better reset, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was doing when I started with the foundationless. I would put like a foundation, then foundationless, then foundation, just every other one. Let's see, Lee. That's what I've seen other people say about.
Well, Bob, I think Bob Benning talked about that, where he
Yeah.
says about a set of a 1-to-1. It's a lesser amount, which actually is more closer to the nectar.
Yeah.
Flow.
That may have been where I heard it from. I just couldn't remember who said it.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that then. They'll probably by tomorrow they'll have that jar gone.
I don't know. I just
I don't even use starter strips. What I do on my foundation list is the little snap-in wedge that you use to hold foundation in. I snap that out, and when I build in my frame, I put it down in the track and staple it and put wax along the wooden strip, and they'll draw straight down from that too. So I don't usually buy starter strips at all, or any foundation to cut into starter strips. I just use the frame itself.
Well, those black frames that you had, Bob, were they Acorn?
They were the Acorn heavy waxed.
Yeah, I just got bought some cases of them in here this week. So we'll see what happens with it.
Well, everyone that I've put in there, they've really drawn out. A couple of the frames that I've got is they've got like where they were connected on one side, the little plastic round things coming off of them. So that was kind of weird.
Now, Matt, we're scheduled every Tuesday night at 7 Central, but the rest of the week we'll just kind of jump in and decide to do one. But we're definitely scheduled Tuesdays at 7 Central.
Tuesday's the main night.
So is that
we stream on 2 separate channels, on Walker Bee Ranch, Bob's channel, and on Kodiak Farm, my channel, simultaneously.
Is that the Matt and Sarah that's on the stream team a lot?
Yes.
They're the ones that make these nice cups here.
They are the one and only. All right, I got to ask you, since you said that's no good, why is that no good?
What's that?
Oh, when I said that I just used the wooden wedge in there, he said, "No, that's no good." I don't know what makes it no good, but yeah, that's how my mentor does it. He just snaps that wedge off and puts the wedge in the groove, like straight up and down, and staples it, puts some wax on it, let it go. They'll draw it out all day long. So it works. If you don't want to buy it, you don't want to do it that way, that's fine. But that's how I do it, and it seems to work.
Y'all have a good night, Matt and Sarah.
But yeah, so it's like I just got a couple issues to deal with now, like that I manufactured myself, right? The issues that we talked about with the they run off it a lot. Okay. But so I've got that one colony that doesn't have a queen in it. Oh, two, but one has the queen cells in it, and the other one doesn't right now. So I have to put queen cells in there, which is probably where that other frame of queen cells is going to go. And I left them in the demarray so that they could finish capping them up and everything before I move them. And then I'll put that in the other colony, and then we'll see what happens with those. But my nukes, I think out of 4 of them, 3 of them had queens in them now. So maybe 4. The other one that I saw the queen in the other day, that I said I didn't know if it was a virgin or if she was still swelling up after mating. When I went in there, I didn't see her the next day. So she might have been out on a flight. I don't know. So I have to check that one as well.
My 2 splits that I made into the horizontal nuke hive, they had queen cells that were already capped last weekend. So, I mean, from capping day to this weekend, they should hatch. I want to go look to see if they've hatched, but I don't want to go in and bother. I'm going to give them one more week. Because if you go in with a virgin queen messing with them too much, sometimes they think it's her fault and they can roll her up. So I want to wait one more week, give her time to kind of mature a little bit, maybe go out on a mating flight.
Hey, William.
Hey, William, how you doing tonight?
Man, you got big props on Castle Grounds Apiary too on their live stream tonight. Said how your channel has grown a lot of subscribers. And I kind of liked watching that. It was an interesting video that he takes the time to monitor all the beekeeping YouTube channels that he knows of. And I don't know that you're on there yet, Charlie, but if not, go on his channel, Castle Grounds Apiary, send him a message on that video, say, hey, am I on the list? If not, he'll add you.
Where's that at? I don't see it.
It's called Castle Grounds Apiary. Is the name of his his YouTube channel. And he monitors. He's been for the last couple months monitoring like beekeeping channels growth, and he actually his channel got a on the live stream. He got disconnected because of his internet connection, I guess, tonight. But what we were watching is pretty interesting, just to see the amount of content that people are putting out and how their subscriber base is growing. Like the Honeystead didn't put out that many videos, but she gained like all this crazy amount of subs, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I'm going to drop Castle Grounds link to his channel here in the chat if anybody wants to check him out.
Yeah, check him out. Give him a follow, subscribe, like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell. But yeah, it's just one of those. Today was a crazy day, rainy and stuff, so not much happened over here from the beekeeping front. And try to get back at it tomorrow and see what's happening.
That's what I'm going to do. Get out in the yards and play with the bees a little bit. And
there must be a little bit of a flow coming in because the bees' demeanor is starting to change. Even Monster Hive was not as aggressive as it's been. So pretty interesting. But again, if you don't have it on footage, it didn't happen.
The other thing I would suggest is like with the rest of your hives, Bob, is like you say, do the single hive brood chamber management thing, clean your brooder, and start putting them honey supers on there so they can. You're looking for honey production, so they're going to pop that honey upstairs. And if you're running out of frames, as far as drawing, go ahead and put it up there. They will draw up there.
Yeah, I've got my existing mediums that I had drawn out. I've already got them distributed, like checkerboarded. And
when you say checkerboarded, meaning that you got foundation and drawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, to try to give them a reason to come up there. And then we got
the single brood chamber management, if she's got all that bottom laid up with eggs, they only have one choice, is to put everything upstairs. That's the main thing. And then, like, if you got those deeps and you got them empty frames and you're trying to draw out more brood frame deeps, I would, let's say you got your 10 frames in there and she's got a lot of it laid up, or let's say you're going to pull a cat brood frame out, put it empty in there, put a foundation and let them see if they'll draw that one out.
Right.
And then put that frame of brood and bees in another hive that, like you say, is weak.
Well, I'm thinking, on those queen,
or bring out a bunch of them and make a split with a queen. Get yourself for, if you're going to do deeps, get yourself for frames of bees with brood, cap brood, and throw that frame in there. It's got that queen cell in there. Now you got yourself a box of bees with, that's going to take care of things.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that with the one queenless hive, that's my other real tall hive that sits on the end. Well, real tall compared to all the other ones. It's queenless. So right now, it's got a lot of bees in it right now. So I was thinking about actually
is it starting to do laying worker thing, or is it just went queenless?
No, it just went queenless. Yeah, it just went queenless. So I was considering actually just splitting that in two, and trying
and find a frame of eggs
and drop
eggs from somewhere, from a queen right hive that you like, and throw that in there and let them make them queen cell. In 3 days' time, you should see a queen cell starting. If anything, if you'll take yourself a hive tool and you could get yourself some eggs, take a hive tool and break that bottom wall down on that, and they'll draw queen. That's that OTS system from.
Yeah, give them a little more room to draw a better cell.
Draw that thing out more of a queen cell look to it, and they'll feed that. And that ought to be a pretty good egg, because it's well fed from the get go.
Right.
It won't be an egg. It'll be yes, it'll be an egg, and then within 3.5 days it'll
be a larva,
and then they'll jump on it. You just more or less.
Well, the only problem I have with the frame that I have that I know has eggs on it or has queen cells, it's on a plastic foundation. So I've never cut a queen cell off of a plastic foundation before. I've never taken that off.
No big deal. Just
go all the way to go around it all the way to
a knife that's kind of bendy, a little bit, or a paring knife, and just go in behind that cell,
scrape it off,
cut right down to the plastic and scoop it. Kind of like make a scoop effect to it, and then. I think you did that one other time I told you where you matched.
No, I just cut it. That was a foundationless that I just cut it out.
No, you can do it that way.
Good night, Bruce.
So we'll
just try it. It's another tool in your toolbox if you are successful.
Right.
It gives you another option to be able to make splits and utilize them queen cells. And that's what this beekeeping is all about. You're constantly learning new skills, new
techniques, right?
And all the main thing of it is just jump in there and try it. It isn't.
Well, if it don't work, it don't work. I'll just have to.
You can regroup everything back together again or whatever.
And I'm getting closer and closer to just ordering a doggone a few queens and make it.
I talked to a guy today, and I forgot all about it, to ask where you can
get the queens from.
Yeah, it's Kudix. They're up in New York State, but they got a place in South Carolina on the coast next to 95. You're an hour away.
So it's probably either in Florence or Charleston area then.
It's not either. It's somewhere. It's not close to those two places.
Oh, it's not? It's out in the middle of the boonies then somewhere.
Well, I don't know. It's on the coastline there off some one of them towns. But let me see if I can find.
But the last queens I ordered from Oliveira's, and he's out in California. And I think the soonest they'll have some. Oops, nope, don't want to do that. Oh, let me come over here. Cancel that.
There it is. Go on the internet, and it's Kudix, Kutiks, everything bees. They're in New York. And, they got, like I say, that's their main operation up in New York State, but they got a place down in South Carolina. That's where they raise about 5,000 nukes.
The next day they can ship queens from Oliveira's is the 7th, which is a week from today.
Yeah, but I mean, where are they located? In California?
California, yeah. And
I mean,
they're expensive.
if anything, you could probably go over there on the coastline. You're not that you said you're about an hour from 95.
Yeah.
Well, you're an hour from wherever this. You might be able to pick them up right out on the farm.
Kudix.
Yeah, Kutik. Kutik. Kudix. Everything bees.
Kudik marked bees. Hell, Better Bee sells their queens. Raised in South Carolina. And
Where do you think they get their nukes from? And my friend that I go down south to get packages, he gets 500 nukes from them. And let me tell you something. I've boxed them nukes from wood to cardboard, and they are some rockin' nukes. Let me tell you, they're like 3 and 4 frames of brood in them things. You better get them in your hive quick because they're going to go.
That's how the ones are I get right up the road. 3 full frames, both sides of brood, frame of pollen, and a frame of honey.
It's showing
5 full frames of bees.
As being in Lake. He moved 30 colonies to South Carolina for the winter, thus joining the unique fraternity.
What's that?
He does something in South Carolina, but it doesn't say where. They do pollination down here. I don't know where.
Yeah, he does. He does all that kind of stuff and all.
I probably have to call New York.
Call New York up, and Chuck is the owner of it. I have not met the man. I just know of of them through my friend up the road who's a dealership for Man Lake. Anyway, I've gotten queens from him. I could get queens from either him or another place in Georgia, and I really like his queens. And like you say, if he has a farm, I guess you call it a nuke manager, farm manager down in South Carolina. And you could, I don't know, you say, hey, I'm down here in South Carolina. Can I just go over to the farm and then,
pick some up?
Pick them up. Over to the Octavia.
Like I said before, I'm going to try to start making my own queens this year, but I still figure every couple of years I'll get a queen from outside just to kind of diversify the.
See, that's what I did. I got, let's say, 10 queens from him, and then I started grafting from them, and I like their genetics, and all the daughter queens that I've been producing, they look just like the originals. I mean, at least they look like them, and they seem to act and produce like them too.
Do you mark all your queens?
I do like Bob Bennett says, if I see them, I mark them because I got to find them. If I'm selling a nuke, I want to find that queen. And of course, the new person who's buying that queen wants it marked because they can't find a queen.
Yeah.
So they like that idea. I like the idea because I can find her quick, put her in the box. I know she's in the box, and then, put the rest of the package together. And then underneath my honey hives, I try to mark all of them because I like I say, when you're going in there and you're doing equalization, you don't want to pull your queen out. I try to find her and put her, kind of like isolate her some way. of putting her maybe off to the right hand side of the box while I'm going through the rest, or I'll take a queen clip and put her in the queen clip.
I was about to say someone put them in a clip. But to me, even marking the queen, at least for me, it don't always work. Because out of 3 splits that I made last year after the flow, I moved the queen on 2 of them to a new yard and didn't realize it till after I moved them.
All right, I sent him an email. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I was looking. I called my friend up today, and I said I wanted to get a muff, for working with queens because I lost one. Now, I was right trying to put a queen in the cage, and that sucker got away from me. And there goes $35 flying off,
Yeah, we may have to try that, William.
And so I ordered a queen muff, I guess you call it. But what kind of got me is I'm looking at Man Lake right now. Plastic queen catcher. I want $6.95 for this plastic queen catcher. A queen
For the clear plastic?
clear queen clip.
You can get those on Amazon. I think it's
Exactly.
5 of them for like $6.
I bought them, but I just got a dozen of them for about $1.25 a piece. Let's say $1.50 a piece at the most. It's like come on, people, get a little. It's a little ridiculous. So
Just had some people wanting to buy some honey from me, so try to get that squared away. All right.
But yeah, definitely you want to try, making your own queens. That's the way to go. That's the key to self-sustainability. I can tell you that right now.
I got the NICOT system that I'm starting with this year, but I'm going to take some of the sales and manually graft myself also, just to try to see
the thing of it is grafting using I use a Chinese grafting tool. The grafting, everybody really focuses in on the grafting and how hard that is. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, I have the glasses that I'm wearing now are for, I'll call them reader glasses. I put them on. I get one of them things like you got right there. If that works for you, I got one that's a little different, more like a helmet.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And got that. Get yourself a graft, Chinese grafting tool. Make sure the tongue, like I told them before, where
good and flexible.
Good and flexible. You bring that tongue down on your thumbnail, and as long as that thing bends real nice and easy, that's perfect. And then when you're doing all this, put it in your mouth and bend that tongue with your tongue.
Yeah, about to say,
and the moisture in your tongue will make that thing more flexible. And I guess what it is also your body heats that thing up, makes it more flexible too. And then do that, and then just slide that tongue down the sidewall of that cup, and it'll go, let it bend and go across the bottom, and it'll scoop up that larvae. What I'm getting at is grafting. The grafting part is the easy part. Mm-hmm. It's getting your hive, your cell builder, at the right strength in order for them to pull themselves out.
You have to have a strong hive.
Called, I think, trying to get that hive set up just so with the right amount of bees. And it takes a while to kind of sit there and experiment with that. And I know here, if it's below 50 degrees at night, you must forget about it. It's not going to work.
I figure I'm going to wait at least another 2 weeks. I'm going to try one round, but I think I'm going to do my main queens close to the end of the flow. I want to try to time it about when the flow is going to end, start about 3.5 weeks before that. That way they can go ahead, draw the cells out, finish everything off, and by the time I'm pulling honey off and doing my last splits, drop either the queen cell or a virgin queen that's already hatched in.
You mean for making splits, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to do your queen cell. It takes, the way I count, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. And I always confuse, they'll say day 9 and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, why are you counting day 1, 2, and 3, which is the egg part?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? You're not even starting there. Mm-hmm. It's when you see that little spot of jelly in there, that's about day 3.5, 4 at the most, and you can't see that larvae floating in that jelly. That's perfect. Right there's to me, that's day 1. Mm-hmm. I graft and I put that frame in that cell builder. That's day 1. 6 days later, those grafts will be capped. On that day,
what size box do you use for your cell builder?
a 5-frame nuke box.
Okay.
I usually do a 5/5. You mean you can do a 10-frame, but I don't know. I'm packing them in tight. So
how many frames of nurse bees are you shaking in?
Well, on the bottom end, I'll go around and I'll pick up 5 frames of cat brood. It's about ready to hatch. Put that in the bottom.
Hey, Rob.
And then put, hey, Rob. I'll put that in the bottom, and then I'll find myself a frame of pollen and some nectar, and then put that cell frame in there in between those two. And then I usually drizzle pollen sub. I'll take pollen powder and then mix it with some Pro Sweet or some sugar water and make like thick pancake batter. And then pour that on top, drizzle that on top of those frames. Just don't let it run, just enough to where when it hits that frame, it kind of just sticks there. And then all of them nurse bees will come up there and they'll be like a bunch of pigs all lined up sucking that down. And that'll give them all that energy to make royal jelly. Yeah. And they'll fill those cells up. Now this year I'm going to try something different where I seen it down in Hive Life where Benny talked about it, and Frank Sutton, I think he's aware. They take and they make the bottom of the hive queenless and put the queen upstairs and put a double screen bottom board in between, like a cloak board, and then they put the cells in. Now they only leave the cells in for about 2 days. And then they pull themselves. They take that bottom box off gingerly, set it down, put her back down on the bottom, then put a queen excluder in, and then put that box on top. And they will continue to draw themselves out. So they'll draw them out, like I say, from when you graft until the day they cap is 6 days. That's when they take them out, and I put mine right in my incubator. Leave them in there for 5 days. Take them out, and like you got them 2-frame mating boxes right behind me there. I'll have them stocked with frames of bees, and then put that queen cell in there, and then come back in a couple weeks. Actually, you really should come back in about 3 weeks, but I'm like you, Lee. I get tinkeritis. I gotta go in here and look.
Yeah, I want to go check tomorrow, but no, I know I don't need to, and I just want to make sure that they get mated, they hatch out, get mated, and return. And then, like I said, I may go next weekend and check them.
Right. And they'll, she'll come out and get mated and all. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure, I'm not going to do it right now, but when I get ready to, when I'm starting to do equalization, I'll pull frames out and I'll start stocking them hives with 2 frames of cat brood, and give them a little something to eat and stuff like that there. And then those hives are a little bit older. When I went back, and you see them little holes in the middle there. I actually have a little piece of wood. I put a screw in there as a gate, and I'll take them things, close that gate on them hives so they can't get out. Underneath there's 2.5 or 3 inch holes that are screened off for ventilation. I'll put them bees in there along with the brood so they can hatch out and keep them in there for about 4 days, because it'll be cool. And after 4 to 5 days, then you can open them up, because after that they've lost their memory and they'll stay in them little hives all the time. Okay. And all that. I don't know I would say it's going to probably be around the 15th of April before I can graft, because of the weather situation.
That's what I figured. I'd wait another 2 weeks here just to make sure. I mean, we got warm weather except for tonight, but I'd rather wait later than do it too early and something happen.
Well, I tried to do that years ago too early. Actually, I do have a licensed hive. It's a 6-frame nuke. And I bought that, see if I could graft a little sooner, being 40 degrees at night. So I might jump into that and try that. That'll be one of my try type things.
Right.
But I'm looking at the stuff or the weather. It's going to be throughout the days. It's anywhere from 59 to, it's all in the 50s, 50, 55 degrees. But at nighttime, it's fluctuating in the 40s, and supposedly Saturday night's going to be 32 degrees, but that's awfully cold.
Yeah, the lowest it's getting here now is in the high 40s, like 48, 47. Yeah. But for 2 days, and then it's going in the 50s the rest of the week.
Yeah, just
on this little comment here, Three Boys Bees. After the nectar flow is basically over and I'm pulling my honey supers, that's when I'll do my splits. And any splits, I'm going to pour the 1-to-1 tool and put new foundation on them and have them draw out new supers for me for next year.
Yeah, I guess, as long as you can get them to do that.
Yeah. Normally, I mean, as long as you put in the 1-to-1 tool or 3/4-to-1, it'll still kind of keep them stimulated enough to draw some out. They think the nectar's coming in, even if I put it in an open feeder or a bucket feeder on top. Which most of my feeding this year, I'm going to the 1-gallon bucket feeders on top, on the migratory lids.
Right. Now for me, I'm like I say, I got a bunch of nukes. I don't know, I got a dozen of them sold or more, and I'll get them sold and get them out of here as quick as possible, and then I have all summer to sit there and restock them, I guess you would say, get them back up to go through the winter again.
Yeah, William, we started to see a bunch of drones down here. Today had a few more scouts flying around the swarm traps, but still no takers yet.
I see a lot of people in our local area are posting pictures that they're catching swarms in our local bee group, but I haven't seen anything around here. And
no, that's too cold. Thanks, Dennis, for subscribing.
I'm kind of like around here. I'm in my area. We have a community Facebook group, and there's like 9,000 members in it. And they know I'm a beekeeper, so I usually get that call when they spot them. So we'll see if that pops out any this year. But my thing is, I just want to make splits, grow some colonies, and still maintain a nice honey crop would be good this year. And if I could I might have to do something. I might have to just suck it up and buy me go ahead and buy me some grafting stuff, some grafting frames, and just, hey, you won't learn if you don't just put your hands in it and do it, right?
That's what I said. I want to learn, but until I start trying it, I don't really know. Hey, I might fail, but if I do fail, at least next time when I do it, I know what not to do. Don't do what I did last time when I failed. Try it a different way.
Yeah, it's it's every year since I've been beekeeping, which granted has not been long. I mean, it's only 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Which I probably, honestly, a lot of other stuff I started, I wouldn't have been doing it 3 years after I did it. So, hey, woo, we're succeeding on that aspect.
How many did you start with in 2020?
When I started?
Yeah.
I ordered, now here's the catch. I ordered 5 nukes. However, I only got 1 because the person I was buying the nuke from, who is my mentor, he doesn't graft. He does basically a bunch of walk-away splits. And he was having bad return rates and stuff like that. So I didn't press it. He got me 1 nuke. I caught a couple swarms, and I split those out to 15. And then 9 of them got wiped out. So I overwintered 4 nukes. And that's what took me to the colonies that I have now. And just from doing walk-away splits myself, right? caging, like when I had a frame with multiple queen cells on it, I would put that wire mesh cage over top of the cells, except for like 2. And then when one of those hatched out, I pulled, and it was off the frame. I pulled that frame out and moved it to another colony and took another frame of brood with it and bees and made another split. And when one of them hatched out, I removed that cage and let her go and moved that whole frame into another one and just kept doing it, just using the same frame. If I had 4 or 5 cells on it, that frame would go into, 3 or 4 colonies typically until all the queens were out.
That's all I did in 2020 and last year, the walkaway splits. And I done 3, I believe, so far this year.
Well, it's like I sold some. I sold the nukes. I think it was several years ago, and we were going south to get around Easter time to go get bees, and we're helping my friend out. And I did my splits. I was like, Frank, what am I going to do? I got to get this done and that done and whatever. By the time I got back, it was like Lloyd said. He said in 3 days' time, you're going to have queen cells. They're going to start queen cells. And sure enough, I got back, with a handful of queens. I'm like, yeah, there's a queen cell and a queen cell and a queen cell. And I'm like,
And you can't put a queen into a hive with a queen cell.
That's right. You know what? I'm going to let them go, and see what happens. And they worked out fine.
Yeah.
And
that just takes longer.
That was always my big turmoil, I guess, as far as management goes for myself. It's like, okay, I really need queens, but I can't get queens up here early enough because it's cold. But yet I need to get rid of these bees before they swarm too, these nukes. And
I don't have one.
Huh?
I'm answering the question on the screen. No, I don't have one. I've seen them, but I don't have one. That's my thing. It's like I could order queens. I could order packages. I mean, I could go get packages. That's not the issue. Is I'm trying to challenge myself to not spend money on bees when I've got bees. I can make bees, right? Or the bees can make bees. It's just for me, it's more of a lesson in patience, because if I got the money, I could real easily, quickly load up all my nuke boxes with packages. Just a matter of whipping out a card and putting them on there. Yeah. But that's not the business model I've got for myself.
My 3 existing yards this year, I'm making splits and going to do the queens and sales and all that. The only reason I'm wanting to buy the other nukes that I have, I'm opening up a whole new yard. So that'd be my 4th yard. And instead of taking some out of the existing yards to move that, I'd rather just go ahead and fill it with other bees.
Right.
So how many hives are you going to have, Lee?
I'm hoping by end of season, 35, 40.
Well, you have that many now. I mean, how many you got now? You got 23, and you're getting 8 more nukes. That's 31, and you haven't made any late season splits yet.
Nope. Well, like I said, I mean, just in case something happens, that's my goal, 35 to 40.
That's about what I run. Between the nukes and the honey hives, I run about normally around 35. Sometimes I'm up close to 40. Then when queen season comes along, if you count all them little hives behind me there, I've got probably at least 20 to 30 there. So but those are not as bad. If you throw a cell in there, you don't really have to look at them for 3 weeks.
Jim, that means it's your fault that I couldn't buy gloves, because you had gloves and no jacket, and now I got jacket and no gloves. So now I got to go back and order gloves because they were out of stock when I ordered this.
I've seen those Guardian gloves. I don't know. They look kind of bulky to me.
They look bulky, but they are comfortable. And I mean, they breathe, but they don't feel bulky. I got 2 pair of them. I got your extra pair, Bob.
It seems like the sleeve is way up here. It really comes.
I can show you right now how long they are.
But yeah, I like my Guardian jacket now, and it has something unique on it. I don't have it in here right now, but like this is the veil off of my other jacket. at a fencing veil. The Guardian jacket has a loop right here on the top, so you can actually hang it from the veil and don't have to worry about crushing it up like this one. The face mask is kind of mashed in on it, and I can't get it back right.
Yeah, get them little seams in it.
Yeah.
If you can lay it out on something flat and put a blow dryer on it, like a hair dryer, you'll warm it up just enough to help get that little kink out of them. But yeah, Charlie, if you look right here, is my elbow, so it comes just past the elbow. I mean,
yeah, my other gloves only come like right here below the elbow.
I said they look bulky, but they're comfortable.
Have you been stung through those gloves?
No. Nope.
How's the leather part of it? Is it that thin goat skin glove?
Yeah, it's like the comfortable goat skin construction glove. The bottom of it's like that. The top is mesh.
Yeah, but I buy I don't know. It's like I say, what my friend sells. It's a goat skin leather. It's real thin. I mean, they can actually sting through that occasionally, you know. Yeah. You'll get a one or two.
Now, like I said, if I don't have a nectar flow, yeah, my bees are a little more aggressive, and I'll wear the jacket with the gloves. But once I start getting a little nectar in, they calm down. I'll go out there and just my veil. Sometimes I don't even wear the veil.
Everybody do us a favor and smash the thumbs up if you haven't, please. That's the price of admission. Thumbs up button. Smash that like button.
Yeah.
Mark says he likes the extra long gloves, and then he rolls them back towards his hand. He says it makes it easier to put on. I guess he grabs it under there and can tug them up.
Right.
Yeah, that's the same hood I've got. The round one.
Yeah,
well, I don't have that exactly.
It's kind of hard to put on and take off when you got headphones on too.
Try to put that damn GoPro chest thing on under that round lip. Because you got to pull this thing over the band, right? And then you have to pull these apart over the band while you got an arm in here trying to get it over your arm. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but hey, things we sacrifice for YouTube. So,
yep.
But this thing.
Now, Dennis, where do you live at?
South Carolina. He lives about an hour from me.
Okay. Does he have a YouTube channel?
I don't know. Dennis, you got a YouTube channel? I think he does. I think he's got a couple videos up. A few videos. I have to look over on here. Oh, he must be watching from. Is he watching from Lee's channel tonight?
Yeah, he's watching from mine. But whenever I click his name, it's not giving me the option go to channel.
Yeah, I bought my direct cut there. I bought my actually I ordered it down at Hive Life and they sent it to me. But the other complaint that I'll say that I have with a Guardian jacket so far is of course I got a 4X jacket, I think is what it is. But the arms are puffy. I guess they're like they need to be tailored down a little thinner. And all that. Other than that,
yeah. Let me see if I could find the link for it. Amazon. I could probably find it on Amazon. I got mine at Best Buy.
What's that?
The GoPro chest mount.
Yeah, either that or go to GoPro.
That's where I got all my stuff. I just went straight to GoPro.
I was looking at Amazon and all, and I mean the first of the year when I got talking to Brian from Castle Hives at Hive Life, and he advised me to get a 9 over a 10 at the time, which I did, and I like you say, you get frustrated. I went right to GoPro. I bought the batteries, camera, the media mod, the whole 9 yards right there. Bing, bang, boom, you're done.
Yep, I done the GoPro 10, bought 8 batteries.
I bought 6, I think.
The Max Lens mod, the media mod, the new
See, now I wish I had
2.0 stick.
Did you, Bob? What is that? Did you got a lens that's like a 360 lens or something to use or something?
That's on the Max. It is a 360 camera.
Yeah, the GoPro Max is a 360.
So that's what it's there for, to make it wide angle.
You can actually, I mean, you can go into the software and do it to where if you were to move your phone around, it looks like you're looking all around.
Yeah, it's got a camera on both sides, and I can switch through the software which camera I'm using. Actually, I had you probably can't see it, but this mount is actually broke, so I actually have to have this on my tripod backwards so it still locks in place.
All right, well, let me ask you about that. I got a tripod here with your normal 1/4-20 screw in the middle of it. Does GoPro make a regular mount that will screw into that, and then it's a quick detach?
Yeah, this is a quick detach. You just gotta you can't see it. It's just got a little lever that lets you undo it. But
yeah, but is that from the tripod or is that from GoPro?
That's hell, I don't know if this is actually a GoPro one. I bought it on Amazon. And this tripod mount, I think I bought it all as one thing for a GoPro. Oh, there you go, tearing my stuff up. But this has a different kind of mount on the top of the tripod. So I just bought this tripod mount accessory kit from Amazon. It's probably an.
I don't know, the tripod I got. One of my customers gave it to me. Actually, he's a professional photographer, but
I'm sure they make an adapter for one.
Have to. I tell you, there was one guy on he did a review on 9, I guess a year or more ago, and he was right. He says, get rid of these stupid little ears that you have to put that screw in, and when you put the media mod on there, then you got to disassemble everything in order to make what's that?
The little ears on the bottom of the camera.
On the bottom of the camera, yeah. Well, if they would put the ears on the mod, then you wouldn't have to disassemble every darn thing.
Yeah.
And then the screw ain't long enough to get your fingers on there, so I carry a Phillips screwdriver with me all the time.
Well, you can find sometimes on Amazon, they'll sell the longer screws for the GoPro mount stuff.
Does it do it like this for yours on the on your GoPro where it flips down? Yeah, it flips down like that. On the 5, it doesn't have them at all, so you just got to use the whatever bracket that comes around it.
Yeah, I got the old 4 too. It don't have it, but I got a gimbal for my 4, so it just slides in there.
Well, if you go to GoPro, you can buy some of their older models pretty cheap, and then they even have like Chinese knockoffs on Amazon of these things that you can also get that are pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, 3 Boys Bees. Yeah, all that was included in bee expense. Anything that I use for the bees, farm stuff, that's all included.
And there's Beehive Homestead. Hey, saying hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
But yeah, so that's kind of what I do. If I use it for beekeeping or beekeeping YouTube or anything like that, it's going on my expense report for my taxes. And then I filed with the IRS and got a tax number for my beekeeping stuff. So like when I called Better Bee and ordered my extracting equipment, I saved $300 and something on taxes by giving them my tax number, which is free to do through the IRS website. So if you go on there and file for your apiary's tax number, then you can also submit that into your suppliers and save on your taxes.
So now when you make money, you have to tell the IRS that you made some money then because you have that number?
Well, I run as a sole proprietorship.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of lump it all in together. If in fact is there IRS watching? I hope not.
Yeah, even though you have a tax ID number for a sole proprietorship, it still falls under your, like, self-employed, under your own tax.
And the beauty of it is honey sales are primarily cash sales for the most part. So,
well, the biggest thing I've always found is you don't make it. If you're lucky to break even, you're doing in pretty good shape, unless you're going commercial.
Right.
I'm not really looking, I guess you'd say commercial. I'm looking for, I mean, good sideliner, 100, 150 hives eventually.
I don't even know how, I mean, I don't know how many bees my area will sustain for nectar and.
Well, I would say, like you were telling me, 25 or 30 of it ought to be able to do pretty good right in your home area there. If
Yeah.
you
As long as you keep your yards, I mean, at least several miles apart.
Now, I do have another place. My buddy said I could bring colonies out there, but that's work because I got to actually clear woods to put them in.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll have, I don't know if there's a peppermint strong enough for that situation out there.
Well, the thing of it is I don't know. I had, like I said, a couple hives down the road here that I was keeping for a fella, and what a pain that was. I hated that trapping the drive all the way there, and then you forget stuff, or you needed stuff that you didn't bring because you find something wrong.
A lot of times I keep equipment in my car just in case. Stuff that I know I normally use. I keep one hive tool here for my number one yard. I keep one in the car because I have had times I got to another yard, forgot my hive tool. So I buy multiple.
Yeah. Since Beehive Homestead is new, you ought to tell them that you guys meet up here on a regular basis on Tuesdays. What is it? 7 Central, 8?
7 Central, 8 Eastern. And then we do these randomly, and we all have our own YouTube content we put out. Eamon, just to answer your question, I saw it pop up on the screen. I don't know. I buy most of my boxes from Blythewood Bee Company because they're close to me. 10 frame boxes they had for, I believe they were either $17.95 or $19.95.
What would it run you with frames?
With frames? Well, it depends what frames you buy. I mean, the frames I buy are $2 a piece, $2 and something a piece. The plastic ones now, I guess you could go all the way up to $5, or you could get them if you buy 100 frames at Man Lake. You used to be able to get them for about $1 a frame. I think they're higher now.
Yeah.
Depends on what your foundation is and all that.
Yeah, if you're foundationless or running plastic foundation or wax.
Depending on where you're buying your foundation from, whether it's Peerco or Acorn or what's the newest one out that Castleman guys like?
Premier
Foundation, yeah. But again, you're still buying the frame, and then you're buying the foundation piece, so you're still going to be up $4 or $5 a frame, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah, and when you're doing things on scale, that's not economical.
Well, I mean,
I use the Acorn Foundation.
Where do you get your Acorn at?
Acorn Bee Company.
Okay.
So that's where I got the 10 frame deep, a case of black Acorn plastic foundation.
52 frames in a case.
Yeah, 52 frames. And I think I paid $2.20, 25 cents for them, something like that a piece.
And that's you getting them.
Yep, and that's with me picking them up.
That's not too bad.
And the mediums come 72 to a case.
Right.
And they're about the same price, $2 and something.
Pretty now, like cheap. If you go on Better Bee for a deep brood box with the 10 plastic frames, you're looking $53.95. Yeah, that's just for the box that ain't your bottom board, inner cover, top cover, or if you're running migratories.
I found everything runs about $20, right around $20, right? So $20 for the bottom board, $20 for the box, $20 for the lid. Everything's a 20 spot. So
I just got a habit. Everything pretty much that I buy just went through Better Bee. I mean, I design my own labels in Photoshop, but I have Better Bee print my labels. I've got all my containers from there until I started getting the
design me a label in Photoshop.
Yeah,
a good one.
Rich emailed me his logo too. I got to figure out what size label he's doing because I mean, you got to know the size of the label. That way, I can stay within those constraints of it.
Well, I don't even have a good logo. I need a good logo. The logo I've got is one that a friend quickly put together for me.
Yeah,
and I made I think those are 2 by 3.3 or something ovals that I'm using. But I was thinking about doing the Better Bee, but it's like $50 for your first setup, right?
with Better Bee, I think it's $50 for the initial setup plus the cost of the labels and then the cost of them printing.
How many labels come in a roll?
250. Now, if you do your initial setup, it normally runs me, I think, about $29 after your initial setup. $29 for print and the rolls.
Yeah, that's another thing about. I get my stock labels from Man Lake, but they want like 12 or so per roll for the inking, for the printing part. It's like know.
I think Better Bee. Don't quote me. I want to say it's like $9 or something. But I do the clear labels too, so I mean they do cost a little more because it's like a thermal print,
right? Well, I've been printing my own labels here, but yeah, I just need a new logo made and one that looks good on a bottle that's legible, like the one I got. I mean, I made this label myself, so it's not terrible, but it's. The name, you see how small the name is. It does not like yours. It stands out. It pops.
Yeah.
So,
well, I just made my name the biggest part on there. As long as I kept the other information at a specific size, the rest of the room I just threw my name in.
Right.
Man Lake wants $25 for a roll, 250 labels. That's for the big label. And then they want another $11 to print the sucker. So now you're talking.
Mark ordered 100 pounds of deep wax foundation. Whoa, is $1,000? Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
What is it they ordered?
I'm about to pull it up on screen so you can see that, Charlie.
100-pound deep wax foundation. That's foundation, but I don't understand the 100-pound part of it. It's like, you're talking about real wax foundation.
Yeah, just basically the wax sheets.
Can you see this at all? Probably not.
Nah, not yet.
I'm like right by my camera. Ugh. Oh, of course, the box. Man. All right, hold on. This is making me mad. Let me fix this. There. Now you get to see my messy room. I've got 8 cases of these frames. Well, this is the medium. I've got 4 cases of medium and 4 cases of deep. Actually, 5 cases of deeps. So I got 9 cases of these, and I didn't spend $1,000 on 9 cases, I don't think. And these are triple wax. They're already coated with wax. And the bees draw them out. I mean, they draw them out pretty quick. So
I just rolled the wax on all of my super frames last night.
So why did you buy white?
That was just what Better Bee normally does for the medium supers.
Yeah, I got these for the honey supers. I got the black for the.
And how much did you pay for those?
For these?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Hold on. I'll just go to the website. All right. Blythewood Bee Company. Frames. Full plastic frames. Well, they actually look like they went up in price a little bit.
Yeah.
They're showing $275, but
How much is it a case?
72 times 275.
275.
But I get a military discount too, so I'm saving 10%. So,
All right, I just bought. Let's see, I bought 3 cases of each. I got the mediums for $1.60 a piece. And
did you go straight through Acorn?
Yeah, I call Nick up in California. Now the thing I have, because I have a commercial location, I can save about $100 basically in shipping. Shipping is what kills me. And
yeah, I didn't pay any shipping on these, so
well, indirectly you did, I'm sure.
well, I'm sure it was blended in from the shipping they got for them, right?
Yeah, so it's I don't know. I paid $1.60 for mediums and $1.95 for deeps, but there's $200 shipping on all that. So you're right up around the $2 and something mark per if you divide all that, divide it out.
Yeah. See, the way I've been ordering all my stuff, I order the complete 10 frame super box. So it's the box plus the 10 frames, and they run in about $58.45 a piece.
And this is the black one. And see, that's what, when you were saying they have a tendency to draw the wax on top, that's because it's oversprayed with wax on the top.
Yeah.
Now, this is the problem that I've seen this time. And Charlie, have you seen this on yours? You see these little dimples right here from the mold?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Your bees haven't had no problems with those? Don't care about it?
No, I don't think they really care about it.
Smells good. Definitely coated with good amount of wax on it. So I was just using the Acorn foundation in the frame like you got, Lee.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but that ended up being more expensive. And if it's the same foundation, then I was like, well, let's try these this year. Plus, they don't have the track for the beetles to get in on the bottom. So that was good. Or, down there. They do have these on the side.
Yeah, I don't. Basically, a medium frame costs triple wax is like $2.06. And that's including the shipping. And let's see, 404.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat here. Anybody want to click on it, they can join into the video.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's about $2.60 a piece on the deeps. That includes shipping.
Got more people trying to buy honey.
That's always a good thing.
But I don't know. I mean, I like the Acorn. I don't know. Everybody, I'm not sure does that their new stuff that everybody else is talking about. Does it come in black?
It does. It does. But it's also they say it's a thinner cell wall, like on the foundation. I don't, my bees never told me they didn't like it.
They say it's more cells, but actually, I've had people count the things that are there's no more cells in there.
Well, I haven't had any of my bees tell me they didn't like the Acorn, so there's, it's what's local.
And I've had some other folks that are going to try that. They're experimenting with it. They say that the other stuff will draw out faster over Acorn and that. I'm not sure whether that's going to be true or not. So
what is the other one called? Premier, right?
Premier. That's it. I keep forgetting that. I asked them down at High Life. They don't make a whole plastic frame yet.
No, yeah, I tried to ask that yesterday. They didn't ever address the question.
They don't make it. All they make is sheets. And I don't do wood because I don't know.
So their deep foundation heavy wax is $1.79, and their extra heavy wax is $2.09. So the extra heavy wax sheet costs as much as a deep Acorn frame does.
Yeah.
essentially. And then you still have to buy the frame.
Yeah.
So, but you do get over $150. You do get free shipping, so I guess that's a good thing. What about Peerco? That's another one, right? That does the plastic frames. I don't know.
Here's the question you were talking about a while ago, Bob,
What's that?
on the screen.
Oh, here I'll drop the link in there. I still got them pulled up here, and you know their prices are going to change all the time too. All right,
The price
here-
on the labels y'all were talking about a minute ago, the clear ones I got, they're for a roll of 200 print and everything, it's $27.
before shipping, right?
Yeah.
Peerco's 72 pack is $187, $260 a piece. Double wax, triple wax is $212, $295 a piece.
$3 for all plastic frames.
All plastic frame, yep.
Yeah, there was a friend of mine. He buys that stuff, and you know his big bragging rights is it's as long as you buy X amount, it is free shipping. Well, if you sit there and look at the prices, I sat down there. Now this is been a year ago. I sat there and looked at Peerco and Acorn and figured the shipping in Acorn, and Acorn still was cheaper, even though they quote free shipping on the other company. So
that's the company I actually did the plastic frames because that's what I had pulled up. Let me see. And their prices change, so the best thing is probably to call. And if you're a veteran, once you register for the website, if you call them up and tell them you're a veteran, they'll apply a discount code to your account. So every time you order, you get the discount. Let me see. Woodenware. Let's see what they got it listed at today.
No, you
They
look at
actually
the
for
Wood
1950 right now. Assembled 1950 is what they got on the website for a 10 frame. Usually it's about $2 more, so $17.50 is what they got it for. $17.50 unassembled 10 frame. Two frame mating nukes, 29. They're out of stock, but $29.95 with the bottom board and the lid.
Now, there's plastic deep frames on Better Be. They're $320 a piece.
$320.
Yeah. Let's see what it is with it. It's $390 with the extra heavy wax.
Let me see.
I've been putting those like other taglines in my I guess
Description.
tags. I guess it is.
Yep.
And I haven't seen anything where it comes up off the sidebar when you go to, let's say, Stepler or Castle or.
No, it's after you watch their video. When you watch a video, your video will show up in the like suggested videos.
Now, in your description at the bottom, are you putting the @ sign and then their channel
Is
name?
it supposed to be in the description, or is it supposed to be in your tags?
In the description.
In the description.
In the description box. Yep.
Basically,
mention,
once
I
you
think
finish
that's
writing your description, skip down a couple of lines and then put @ a channel name, space, @ another channel name.
And I think that's also how Dirt Rooster and those guys started coming in chats. They were getting notifications when we were going live too. So
All right, so it's in the description of your video, not the tags.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I made up a grouping of just for tags, and then like, boom.
Well, of beekeeping channels this month, there was only one channel that put out more content than my channel did.
Who's that?
Black Mountain Honey. He put one more video out than I did this month in March.
Well, who was the folks that you said to
Castle Grounds Apiary.
What's it called?
Castle Grounds Apiary.
Yeah, Castle Grounds. clicked on the subscribe button. So what's this? What's he do? Follow everybody?
Yeah, he tracks all the beekeeping YouTuber channels. Once a month at the last day of the month, he does a live stream and he goes over how percent of increase on people and who's putting out content, which is good because if you're putting out content and people are watching his channel, then they might come and sub to you too.
He's doing all the statistics. How many subs you got that month? What the percentage of your sub increase? Your watch hours?
Yeah, I'm pushing towards 60 so far, and I've only been. I guess it's been a month now. About
the whole month of March.
I put the first one out on March the 3rd.
Yep, so almost a whole month.
I think that's pretty good for a month.
That is good.
I had one guy come here as one of my customers, and he was a woodworker, and he was making tables, I think is what it does. And he had a channel, I guess, I don't know what kind of videos he puts out or whatever. And he's been at it for a year or more, and he only has 50 some subscribers or 60 some subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a key to it too, is putting out a lot of content. I mean, for a long time, I would put out a video or two a month, barely. Now, if you're Yappy Bee Man, you can get away with that when you got 200,000 subs. You can't get away with that on my channel. Nobody ever.
My goal was at least one a month or one a week. I mean, one a week. And hopefully this weather.
Not enough. I need to put out more content.
I do too. I started my YouTube channel in 2020, but I didn't do anything on it. I was just watching YouTube. And last year I only put out a couple videos and they was kind of sporadic, scattered out. But this year, last month, really, I started trying to do everything. And within basically month's time, I've gained 40 something, 50 subscribers.
He said not enough ranch dressing, that is. That's funny. But yeah, I put out as much as I can. I mean, it is time consuming. I mean, I'll easily sit here by the time you film and then edit and upload, that could be 2-3 hours right there. And
I was told by Brian and them, for every minute, if it's a 10-minute video, you figure 10 hours or actually 20 hours. Some people say 2 hours per minute. And I've gotten better on the editing part where I've kind of got the gist of it and I can edit it up pretty good within a few hours. And biggest problem is getting, right now, my problem is weather conditions.
Yeah.
And being able to get out there and do a video and, film it. And the other part of it is like, I got work to do. I got to get through these hives. I don't really have time to sit here and make a movie.
Yeah.
And
what helps with my editing, I use Premiere Pro, but I got the keyboard that has all the shortcuts built into it. So that helps me with a lot of my editing time being cut down.
When it comes to editing, I've got Filmora 11 and it's cutting and putting together and all that, and then like with Bob, he helped me. He gave me an ending thing, and I put some. And then you guys were telling me where to find the music. So now I have a beginning clip, or intro clip, I guess you call it, and then an ending clip that I just plug it in.
I'm gonna tell you how lazy I am on my intro.
Huh?
I'll tell you how lazy I am on my intro. I did it on one video, right? Yeah. And then I import that video into every video I do, and I let it play to a certain spot, and then I stop it and clip it and cut the excess off from the other video, and then put the other one in. One day
you go to a timeline, and all you do is make the intro clip. You get the clip, which is from my editing software. It's a stock clip. I put all the right wording, text into it, and then I found a stock sound that I got off from Familia, and made it in there. And then what gets me is about all this stuff is that they don't, these tutorials don't tell you how to, I want to save it for the next time. Well, what you do is you render it out to an MP4 file, and that is what you plot. You can plop that back onto the timeline again, and it's already made. Well, nobody tells that. I need, everybody assumes those different things. Once you understand that, but then I made the one thing that you sent me with says like and subscribe and all that stuff. Then I went through. Then you guys told me how to go to YouTube through the library and get my music, and I found about a half a dozen songs that really suit me, and none of them are ones that you have to have credits, and it works like the Beehive Homestead. He uses that. Maybe we need to collaborate on how to get things done better. And anyway, I've got that down pat, and then I have an external 2 terabyte hard drive. It's a one of those
SSD
solid state jobs, and I learned to tell the editing program to always put everything on that external hard drive, and then I make up folders to organize my stuff, which makes it a lot better.
Yeah. I do mine by the year, then it breaks down by the month, and then it breaks down by what video I did that month.
Okay, well, maybe I'll get to that point too. Right now, I'm just putting in, certain videos, and I'm putting also in finished videos, or I'll have a folder that says, beginning and endings or something like that,
Yeah. Well, like in each one of my project folders, it'll be the name of the project that I'm working on, but then I have multiple folders, my audio files, my pictures, my video files, everything gets organized. I'm OCD though.
Yeah, I would like to, you gave me that one subscribe button for the, I don't know, I got to get myself a logo sometime. And,
well, I have Photoshop, so if you kind of think of something or send me a couple clippings, this and that, we'll help you come up with something.
I want to come up with a new logo. I need it since it's Walker Bee Ranch. I really want something that looks like a brand, like a cattle brand. But I also want to have like a cowgirl honeybee. I think that would be cool. But to make that, I don't know. I have no idea how to do that.
Well, my thing was my logo would be a saw blade that says Sawmill Charlie's, and then underneath of it, Bee Farm on top and bottom rocker, as they call that. And then in the middle, you have like the clip like Bob's got, where it has that cone outline of the honeycomb, and then there would be like a let's say a big queen bee on there somewhere, somehow, some shape of that type in the middle type of thing.
I'll even give Lee creative consent to come up with whatever he can come up with.
We'll try to figure something out for y'all. Like I say, I mean, I just kind of
another club member up in one of the clubs. He's quite creative. He actually built his own CNC router, and he's actually routering a club logos on the side of these nuke boxes for the club apiary, and has a number for each nuke box and all that stuff. And
that's cool.
He was talking to me, and then all of a sudden he said, well, what about this? And he just brought it right up, a sketch off of his program that runs that CNC router. And I said, yeah, it's close. I said, it needs, honeycomb and a bee. And he was giving me, I said, yeah, that's all sounds good. I just have to, have something to look at. That's what gives me ideas and stuff.
Well, we've been going 2.5 hours.
Well, it's 11:30 and I got to get to bed. So I got to sign out, guys.
All right.
Well, you have a good one, Charlie.
Yeah, I hope to get out there in the yard, like I say, this weekend and get something done. I'm gonna get out there tomorrow. I just
Don't know.
I get out there tomorrow too. It's supposed to be fairly warm tomorrow, close to 60 some degrees.
I got to do a peppermint experiment update because I've been lagging on that.
Well, so far it's worked out, has it?
Yeah, but the problem is with the video series, like you said the other day, the weather was kind of iffy for me as far as rain, but I had to do things because it was on like the time schedule, right? With the demo ray, had to be 7 days, and I wanted to get into everything. So when I'm going through, I'm seeing stuff that really should be in the peppermint video, but I'm not actually filming that because I only did the demo ray video, and then by that time it's like too late. I mean, do I leave this hive beetle larva in this non-peppermint patty in there so I can come back and film it later? No, I get rid of it, right? So
toss it.
Well, now, Lee, do you have 2 cameras when you're filming?
Sometimes I've had times I've had 3 cameras out there before.
The
But
funny thing,
mainly I have just my GoPro 10, but every now and then I'll put the GoPro 4 there on a higher resolution. That way, when I do a zoom shot, when it zooms in, it still retains the same quality.
I'm kind of surprised because, when I do that dual GoPro footage, people seem to like it. I mean, it's different. I mean, you're not, and you are getting a close up of the frame.
As far as being able to bring cameras in the yard, I have 2 GoPros, 2 DSLRs, and then 2 4K video cameras. So, I mean, I got 6 cameras I could bring out there.
Yeah, but I mean, my goodness, look at all that. Look at all the work to go and do all that.
Yeah, 6 cameras means
plus my audio recorder. I record my audio separate from my cameras, and I just ink it in post production.
Yeah, well, see, that's one thing I have learned. My club, I got them to buy a Rode mic system, and I found that I did some video work, and then of course the bees are on the darn microphone of the camera, and they're buzzing like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I can't do that. I already know that I've got to use that wireless.
Yeah, you can't use a dead cat cover either.
I use a Zoom H1N. I stick it in my pocket, and I have a lavalier mic that comes off a Rode mic on my collar.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the last video clip I tried it. It was out in the wind, and I put a dead cat on it. Of course, the bees are not out, but I clipped it. I had my hat on, and I clipped it up on the side of my hat, like I've seen in another group of folks out in Arkansas do. And seems
it does that some.
It blocks the wind with the way I was doing it, and then. It was good enough. The only problem I find with them things is you can hear people, all that kind of, and I'm like, I don't like that. I want it,
I had to lower the sensitivity on mine, but if you're looking in post, as long as you're not talking and saying anything, I don't know how far more it is, but most programs you can actually drag your audio down in that spot and cut out your breathing.
Yeah, you can do that, but like you said on those audio thing, I'm going to put it up to 12 or something like that, which is supposed to bring the volume down or something like that. And
you could always raise it back up and post a little bit if you need to.
Right. So
Beehive Homestead says Fillmore does that, where you can bring down the section of audio.
Okay. Well, see, like Premiere Pro has a built-in option. You can go in and tell it to do auto ducking, and you could tell it what you want to duck, give it a sample of me breathing, and then it'll go through my entire audio file and drop all of those.
Is that what that means? I have auto ducking on mine. I'm like, all right, what do you do with it?
As used for like if somebody's talking in the background, say you're talking and then you stop and you could hear somebody in the background, you can duck their voice out. You could duck different music things out.
Okay.
All right, guys, this is probably a good time to call it then.
Yep.
Right at 11:30.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Beehive Homestead. I need to find it. Oh, okay. Yeah, he just moved to a new house.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, if y'all don't mind, subscribe to each other's channels, subscribe to ours, click that little bell notification.
Yep.
And don't forget, we streamed this on multiple channels at the same time. It's on Bob's Walker Bee Ranch YouTube channel, and on mine, Lee, Kodiak Farm Bees.
And Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central is when we do our weekly stream. These are just kind of impromptu. We're bored and want to talk about bees or whatever topic comes up. Let me see. Chinese grafting tool tune, the end, and sanded a bit, dip it in warm water and try. That's it. That's what we're gonna do.
Flexible, bend for you.
Yeah. All right, I'm checking out. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, guys. Have a good night. And
Everybody
we'll see
have
you
a good one. Be
later.
careful.
Bye-bye.